Sports Network, your home for high school sports. Tune in for the Coach's Corner presented by Buckeye Community Bank, where we speak to the coaches and get their thoughts on the season, this game, and their teams moving forward. Don't forget, immediately following the last play of the game, join us for the post-game scoreboard show presented by I-90 Nissan, featuring live interviews with players and coaches from around Lorain County. You can watch the post-game show live on Facebook at WOBL WDLW Sports. Tonight's games are brought to you by Lang Optical, Stewart's TV and Appliance, Buckeye Community Bank, Mental Health and Addiction Recovery Services of Lorain County, Justin Miller, Esquire, Jamie's Carpet Shop, Lorain County Visitors Bureau, Lorain County Clerk of Courts Tom Orlando, Derek Hammonds of State Farm Insurance, Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson, Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros, Lorain County Community College, Jadasco Insurance, Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services, Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran, E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling, Achieve Credit Union, Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance, Ernie's Auto Body, Brian Victor of Howard Hanna, I-90 Nissan, Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, Al Januzzi CPA, Zabo Apparel Company, Valley Chevrolet, Jones Bones Barbecue and Grub, Network Land Title Agency, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lorain County, Rich Ramsey for Judge, Brian Baker for Lorain County Commissioner, Rich Resendez for Sheriff, Elyria Jewelers and Repair, Lorain County Commissioner David Moore, Jack Hall for Sheriff, Kelly Dieter for State Representative, and Giovanna Scarletta Bremke. After the break, we will talk to both of the coaches in tonight's matchup. Like, follow, and subscribe to Lorain County Sports Network on YouTube. It's time for Lorain County's Friday Night Lights with WOBL and WDLW Sports.
Welcome back into the Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show, getting you ready for kickoff here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Midview playing host to the Westlake Demons. Time now to return to the Buckeye Community Bank Coach's Corner. Buckeye Community Bank today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. Midview head coach Jack Armstrong joins us. Coach Armstrong, we appreciate the time as always. And Coach, let's begin by talking about how different things might be for you heading into tonight's game as opposed to a year ago from now. I mean, second year. Where's your confidence at right now, and where's the confidence of the kids at right now as opposed to last year?
Yeah, a lot of strides from year one going into year two. I'm super excited about tonight. I'm super excited because these kids really bought into what we're trying to get the standard and raise the standard to where we want it to be. And they put in their work in the weight room. They put in the work during the summer hours. And it's exciting times because these kids, it definitely feels like we're even more of a team compared to last year with year two and this consistency. And the kids are excited and they're hungry to get better and show everyone who Midview football is.
Let's talk about the last few weeks of practice. I think everybody's excited. Getting to today is always a challenge because you want to get there healthy, you want to get there confident. Do you feel like you guys have done that over the last few weeks of practice?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been on this practice field and the kids have had a really good attitude and they're hungry to win. And we've been lucky. I was talking about this with one of my coaches that we're healthy, and that's a great feeling to have. These kids have that consistency. And with year two, with the same coordinators, we're ready to make a little bit of noise, so it's good.
Now, taking a look at some of your individual units, when you take a look at that wide receiver group, there's a lot of senior leadership in there. Seems like there's a lot of skill in there as well. Let's talk about that group in particular. What makes that group stand out?
They work together as one. I think the best thing about them is it's kind of like pick your poison to the defense. So we have speed, we have good route technicians, we have people that know how to get open. And the best thing about our offense is I wouldn't say we're a run first or pass first offense. We're take what's open kind of offense. So it makes having as many receivers as we have gives us a lot of flexibility and allows us to be creative in what we're doing.
That leads me into my next question. I'm sure a lot of the same things will apply here also, but let's talk about your signal caller also. Shea Williams, I think a lot's going to be expected out of him, and it seems like he could give you guys the ability to achieve some of that balance you guys are looking for.
Oh, absolutely. A good thing about Shea is he's able to pass it and run it. He's a great runner. He's very fast. And he's going to continue to get better. The expectations for him to win every day and put in the work so that he can be the best version of himself. So he's nowhere near a finished product, but we're really happy with what he's shown, and we're excited to have you guys watch him tonight. So,
what are the expectations for the group up front for you guys this year?
To dominate the line of scrimmage every game on both sides of the ball. I think that once again they really bought into the weightlifting program. Shout out Cody Florian. He's our strength and conditioning guy. He does a great job. These kids are stronger, they're faster, and the expectation is to dominate and be the more physical team.
Let's take a look at what you guys have defensively. It seems like you guys do have some two-way players, and one of the guys I want to talk about is Mike Passarello. I mean, that's a guy that will get the rock for you guys a lot offensively. I know he'll be in the mix in the return game too, but also one of your safeties also. So it seems like a guy that's got a lot riding on his shoulders this year.
Oh, absolutely, and he was beat up last year. Super tough kid. His mom's a Middie alum, very good people. He's a Middie, and he's kind of the commander of the D. So he's a safety, and he's a leading tackler at times, and he's very, very bright and does what's asked of him, and he's exciting on both sides of the ball. Another thing I'd like to add to that is in our backfield on offense, we're loaded, so it's a good thing where we have a little bit more depth, where we have a lot more flexibility, so kids get a good break.
And sticking with the defensive side of the ball here too, I know that every team is looking for that identity. Sometimes you don't find that right away, but based on what you've seen these last couple of weeks of practice, what do you think that identity is defensively?
Physical. I think that the biggest takeaway I've taken out of this August is we went against a physical Buckeye team for our first scrimmage, and the reason we do that is we want to match their physicality, and I think that this is the first year we've done that in a long time. So I think that you're going to see a physical defense that has no missed assignments and flies the football at all times. So I'm super excited to watch our D. I think they're well prepared.
Taking on Westlake tonight, first-year head coach for the Demons as well, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. That used to be a conference matchup a few years ago. Obviously, things have changed now, but that's a program you guys are certainly familiar with. What are some big keys to taking down Westlake tonight in your mind?
Stopping the quarterback. I think that quarterback is a very good football player, so we have to have all eyes on him, do our job, and not let him run around. And then offensively, just protect the football, do our assignments, and we'll be perfectly fine. So I'm feeling good as long as we execute.
Great stuff. Well, Coach Armstrong, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck against Westlake tonight.
Thanks for having me, and go Middies.
Thank you very much, Coach. Again, that's Midview head coach Jack Armstrong joining us here on the Buckeye Community Bank Coach's Corner. Buckeye Community Bank, today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. We'll come back with more after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. Partner for growth. Midview head coach Jack Armstrong joins us. Coach Armstrong, we appreciate the time as always. And Coach, let's begin by talking about how different things might be for you heading into tonight's game as opposed to a year ago from now. I mean, second year. Where's your confidence at right now, and where's the confidence of the kids at right now as opposed to last year?
Yeah, a lot of strides from year one going into year two. I'm super excited about tonight. I'm super excited because these kids really bought into what we're trying to get the standard and raise the standard to where we want it to be. And they put in their work in the weight room. They put in the work during the summer hours. And it's exciting times because these kids, it definitely feels like we're even more of a team compared to last year with year two and this consistency. And the kids are excited and they're hungry to get better and show everyone who Midview football is.
Let's talk about the last few weeks of practice. I think everybody's excited. Getting to today is always a challenge because you want to get there healthy, you want to get there confident. Do you feel like you guys have done that over the last few weeks of practice?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been on this practice field and the kids have had a really good attitude and they're hungry to win. And we've been lucky. I was talking about this with one of my coaches that we're healthy, and that's a great feeling to have. These kids have that consistency, and with year two with the same coordinators, we're ready to make a little bit of noise, so it's good.
Now, taking a look at some of your individual units, when you take a look at that wide receiver group, there's a lot of senior leadership in there. Seems like there's a lot of skill in there as well. Let's talk about that group in particular. What makes that group stand out?
They work together as one. I think the best thing about them is it's kind of like pick your poison to the defense. So we have speed, we have good route technicians, we have people that know how to get open. And the best thing about our offense is
Welcome back into the Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show, getting you ready for kickoff here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Midview playing host to the Westlake Demons. Time now to return to the Buckeye Community Bank Coach's Corner. Buckeye Community Bank today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. Midview head coach Jack Armstrong joins us. Coach Armstrong, we appreciate the time as always. And Coach, let's begin by talking about how different things might be for you heading into tonight's game as opposed to a year ago from now. I mean, second year. Where's your confidence at right now, and where's the confidence of the kids at right now as opposed to last year?
Yeah, a lot of strides from year one going into year two. I'm super excited about tonight. I'm super excited because these kids really bought into what we're trying to get the standard and raise the standard to where we want it to be. And they put in their work in the weight room. They put in the work during the summer hours. And it's exciting times because these kids, it definitely feels like we're even more of a team compared to last year with year two and this consistency. And the kids are excited and they're hungry to get better and show everyone who Midview football is.
Let's talk about the last few weeks of practice. I think everybody's excited. Getting to today is always a challenge because you want to get there healthy, you want to get there confident. Do you feel like you guys have done that over the last few weeks of practice?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been on this practice field and the kids have had a really good attitude and they're hungry to win. And we've been lucky. I was talking about this with one of my coaches that we're healthy, and that's a great feeling to have. These kids have that consistency, and with year two with the same coordinators, we're ready to make a little bit of noise, so it's good.
Now, taking a look at some of your individual units, when you take a look at that wide receiver group, there's a lot of senior leadership in there. Seems like there's a lot of skill in there as well. Let's talk about that group in particular. What makes that group stand out?
They work together as one. I think the best thing about them is it's kind of like pick your poison to the defense. So we have speed, we have good route technicians, we have people that know how to get open. And the best thing about our offense is I wouldn't say we're a run first or pass first offense. We're take what's open kind of offense. So it makes having as many receivers as we have gives us a lot of flexibility and allows us to be creative in what we're doing.
That leads me into my next question. I'm sure a lot of the same things will apply here also, but let's talk about your signal caller also. Shea Williams, I think a lot's going to be expected out of him, and it seems like he could give you guys the ability to achieve some of that balance you guys are looking for.
Oh, absolutely. A good thing about Shea is he's able to pass it and run it. He's a great runner. He's very fast. And he's going to continue to get better. The expectations for him to win every day and put in the work so that he can be the best version of himself. So he's nowhere near a finished product, but we're really happy with what he's shown, and we're excited to have you guys watch him tonight. So,
what are the expectations for the group up front for you guys this year?
to dominate the line of scrimmage every game on both sides of the ball. I think that, once again, they really bought into the weightlifting program. Shout out Cody Florian. He's our strength and conditioning guy. He does a great job. These kids are stronger, they're faster, and the expectation is to dominate and be the more physical team.
Let's take a look at what you guys have defensively. It seems like you guys do have some two-way players, and one of the guys I want to talk about is Mike Passarello. I mean, that's a guy that will get the rock for you guys a lot offensively. I know he'll be in the mix in the return game too, but also one of your safeties also. So it seems like a guy that's got a lot riding on his shoulders this year.
Oh, absolutely, and he was beat up last year. Super tough kid. His mom's a Middie alum, very good people. He's a Middie, and he's kind of the commander of the D. So he's a safety, and he's a leading tackler at times, and he's very, very bright and does what's asked of him, and he's exciting on both sides of the ball. Another thing I'd like to add to that is in our backfield on offense, we're loaded, so it's a good thing where we have a little bit more depth, where we have a lot more flexibility, so kids get a good break.
And sticking with the defensive side of the ball here too, I know that every team is looking for that identity. Sometimes you don't find that right away, but based on what you've seen these last couple of weeks of practice, what do you think that identity is defensively?
Physical. I think that the biggest takeaway I've taken out of this August is we went against a physical Buckeye team for our first scrimmage, and the reason we do that is we want to match the physicality, and I think that this is the first year we've done that in a long time.
The Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show starts now on the Lorain County.
Welcome out to
Sports
Midview
Network.
High School for the 2024 high school football lid lifter. We're so happy to have it for you on the Lorain County Sports Network. Counting down here on our pregame show, brought to you by Stewart's TV and Appliance. Shop smart, shop local, shop Stewart's TV and Appliance in Elyria. Coming your way today from the Lang Optical broadcast booth, Lang Optical, see the difference. Andy Bullbarch, joined alongside my tag team partner Max Drummond. The captain of our ship is our director Edwin Vereen, and Sam Sovacool is working the camera. And we should be in for a doozy here tonight, a rematch from last year. Midview fell 42-28 to Westlake a season ago. The two will meet again here tonight to get this season going. Max, great to be joined by you. Looking forward to working with you throughout the course of the season. We have a lot to get to here over the next 10 minutes or so before they kick this thing off, but this should be a great matchup.
Yeah, excited to be here, and it's been long enough without football. Ready to get it going.
Well, let's take a look at what to expect here tonight. We just did hear from head coach Jack Armstrong of the Midview Middies on our Buckeye Community Bank Coaches Corner. And one of the things he mentioned was that they're just still trying to change the culture here at Midview and get back to Middie football. They did that by doubling their win total a season ago. And for Westlake, they're under a new head coach in Logan Yantek, but they certainly kept continuity in play because he was the offensive coordinator the last couple of years. So this should be an interesting matchup between two young head coaches.
That's right. Certainly looking forward to how each of them choose to attack, starting with the Midview Middies on their side. Last season, especially in this matchup against Westlake, they showcased a lot of explosive play potential, and that shouldn't change too much this year as they have a lot of athletes still in place, especially at the receiver position. But they also got to take care of the football. They lost the turnover battle last year 3-1, and they ended up losing, like you said, by 2 possessions. Ended up being a major factor in that. And then also, they have themselves a very experienced group. 17 returning letter winners, which is also very valuable to have. And Westlake, they're breaking in a new offensive line. 5 new starters in every spot, so they're going to have to take advantage of that. And then on the flip side, Westlake, they have a experienced quarterback. Heading into year 3 is Sam Bouchiri, as he has so much experience, but the guys around him, he's got to kind of catch them up with them. So he's got to guide that new O-line and some of those new skill players by getting them the ball early, but same goes for that defense on Westlake, as they are replacing a lot there as well. You have the linebacker, Chris Campbell, who is going to have to set the tone and really make sure they rally to the ball and good fundamentals, good form tackling over there.
Well, let's take a look at a few other elements of tonight's contest. We begin with our referee crew, brought to you by Justin Miller Esquire. Justin Miller Esquire, serving your legal needs. And the officials tonight, it should be a pretty interesting one because we've got some siblings on this crew here tonight. Our head referee this evening is Chuck Caskey. He will also be joined by Brandon Caskey, Braden Martin, Kenneth Rose, Jeff Collingwood, and Larry Bowersox. Those are the officials for tonight. About 10 minutes ago, they did the coin toss, and our coin toss each and every week brought to you by the Lorain County Visitors Bureau. Celebrating 200 years together, Midview won the toss, and they deferred. So the Middies will be kicking off, and Westlake will receive to begin tonight's contest. And, well, that leads us right in to our keys to the game, which are brought to you by the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board of Lorain County. The Mars Board of Lorain County, be there for someone struggling with addiction and mental illness. And for the keys to the game, I toss it over to you.
That's right. Well, we hit on a few of the points, and just to reemphasize, Midview, they've got this home crowd, this home field advantage at their backs. They got to try to take advantage of that early and get off to a hot start. And for Westlake, they are replacing a lot of great players that led to their playoff appearance last season. So those guys, they got to weather the storm early and let the nerves settle down a bit, and then they should be able to let their senior quarterback, their leader, be able to guide them through the remainder of this game.
Continuing along here on our Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show, you mentioned the keys to the game there, Max. Let's talk about our weather and field conditions here, brought to you by the Lorain County Clerk of Courts, Tom Orlando.
That's right. So we've had a beautiful day all day, very few clouds in the sky, and currently here at Ross Field, Adelsburg Stadium, it is 75 degrees, a little bit of clouds, and then maybe we'll get down to a low of around 47 tonight. So that's the peak low it could be, but it's going to be
47. Jeez.
That'll probably be after the sun sets, but you know, it's a beautiful night out here. Couldn't ask for better August weather, if you're being honest.
And again, our weather and field condition report brought to you by the Lorain County Clerk of Courts, Tom Orlando, a proud sponsor of high school athletics. Well, as far as the injury and update report, which is brought to you by Derek Hammons of State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. As to be expected, Max, I mean, it looks first game of the season. Everybody's healthy. Let's hope it stays that way.
That's right.
We should expect nothing less. The practices were pretty intense for both teams, as both coaches mentioned, but everybody is healthy going in to week 1. We had the national anthem a few moments ago, brought to you by Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson. Stay safe, Lorain County. That's Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson. And now we'll take a look at the starting lineups. I'll run through the offense, and I'll hand it over to Max to take a look at the defense. Starting lineups brought to you by Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros, your trusted local auto repair and tire shop. That's Vans Auto Repair and Tire Pros. We will begin with the Midview Middies offense. Number 17, wide receiver, 6'1", 155-pound senior Camden Scott, one of the captains on this team. Number 21, receiver Cross Swervey, a 5'9", 180-pound senior on that offensive line. Number 58, left tackle, Leo Swerinsky, 5'10", 260 junior. Left guard is number 65, Ashton Johnson, 6'1", 210 senior. The center is 6 foot 210-pound junior Brandon Wiedenmeyer. Right guard number 70, a senior 5'10", 210 Maxwell Scott. And the right tackle is Xavier Young. He's the biggest member of this offensive line at 6 foot 3 inches tall, 220 pounds. He's a junior. Tight end number 11, Logan Lane, 6 foot 210 senior. And the other wide receiver, number 8, Dior Jones, 6'1", 190, a junior. Starting tailback is Mike Passarello. Passarello, 6'1", 180-pound junior. Shea Williams will take the snaps. He is a junior quarterback, 5'11", $185. How about that Westlake defense?
So overall, Westlake Midview will have to be going against a pretty inexperienced group, but they've got Chris Campbell at linebacker, 6'3", 220 senior, coming back 4 sacks in 2023. Also at that linebacking unit, Jake Ostrowski, number 32, 5'9", 175-pound junior. And Antonio Colon, number 35, also linebacker. Owen Wilburn, number 15, 5'9", 175-pound senior. Then moving up to the front line, we have Sean Pavich, number 70, 6'1", 235 junior. Tamer Abedrabo, 5'10", 230 senior, number 8. And then Sammy Salem at the other defensive end spot, number 52, 5'10", 230-pound senior. And then in that secondary, Tribal Rita, 5'10", 160-pound senior for Westlake. Also, Louis Hassan, 5'8", 165-pound senior, wearing number 2. Stephen Trowbridge at number 7, 5'10", 165-pound junior. And Chase Kelly, one of the lone returners on that defense, 5'9", 150-pound senior, who wear number 1 this year.
And let's take a look at this Westlake offense. They run with 3 receivers, spread offense. Those 3 receivers are number 11, Dom Napoli, senior, 5'10", 160. Number 18, Will Bierfeld, he's a junior. Chase Kelly, senior, 5'9", $150. The tight end, number 86, Chris Campbell, senior, 6'3", 220. The quarterback is Sam Brucheri, senior, 6'4", 220 pounds. The tailback, number 32, Jake Ostrowski, a junior, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 175 pounds. Up front, Sean Pavich is the left tackle, junior, 6'1", 235. Left guard, number 66, C.T. Kendall, a senior, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. Center, Grant Stevens, number 54, a junior, 5'10", 200 pounds. Right guard, Sammy Salem, senior, 5'10", 230. And the right tackle is Ahmed Nakib. He is a senior as well, 6'2", 220.
And on that Midview defense, starting on the defensive line, Nathaniel Schenberger, 6 foot, 200-pound senior, number 68. Makai Massey will hold down the middle at 6 foot, 310 pounds, the senior. Also, they have a sophomore on that front, Sawyer McMillan, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Then up to the linebackers, Tommy Kmitt, 5'11", 195-pound senior, wearing number 31. Wyatt Lehman, number 32, 5'9", 185-pound senior. Braden Hamoki, 6 foot, 205-pound junior. Max Kucera, 5'10", 165-pound senior, wearing 24. And then the secondary, very experienced from Midview. Cross Worthy, number 21, a senior. Cameron West, 5'10", 165-pound junior. At safety, Michael Passarello Jr. at safety as well, the junior. And Zachary Wallace, the other corner, a 5'9", 155-pound junior.
We're just about set to go with our opening kickoff. Opening kickoff brought to you by Lorain County Community College. Kick off your future with Lorain County Community College. Kickoffs for the Midview Middies will be handled by Ethan Morris. Back deep to receive, Chase Kelly and Jake Ostrowski for the Westlake Demons. We've been waiting for this moment for a very long time, and we're finally here.
Got that right, Will.
Morris runs right forward, puts his right foot into it, and we are underway. A high kick end over end that sails through the back of the end zone. It's a touchback to get the party started here. The team captains on both sides for tonight, and our team captains all year long brought to you by Jamie's Carpet Shop, shopping made simple. The captains for the Midview Middies, Cross Worthy, Cameron West, Makai Massey, and then they have a rotating spot with the 4th captain, and this week that captain is going to be Nathaniel Schenberger. We get our first look at this Westlake offense. Opening snap of the half brought to you by Janasco Insurance, the protection you need, the service you deserve. Sam Brucheri works out of the shotgun. Sends a man in motion left. That's Chase Kelly, an empty backfield. 5 receivers now for Brucheri to work with. He'll take the snap. It's a keeper. Takes it past the left tackle. Gets it past the 20-yard line. Then he stood up and dropped near the 22. A minimal gain. Got just a couple on that.
And as great as a passer as Brucheri is, he also showed a lot of toughness last season as a runner. And they may need him to do a lot more of that, especially here in the early portion of the season, bringing in so many new players.
It'll be second down and just about 8 with the ball at the 22-yard line of Westlake. A late substitution, a flag comes flying in from our head referee, Chuck Caskey. It's an illegal substitution. As trotting out of the field late there was Charbel Rida of Westlake. That's going to cost them 5 yards.
And that's not obviously what you want, especially this early in the game, and that's only going to energize this Middies crowd in front of us.
That makes it second down. And right around 13 to go. Snap taken by Brucheri. Looks right, throws right. Kelly makes the catch right along the right hash, and a host of Middies there to drop them near the 25-yard line. So they pick up 7 on that, and that makes this a manageable third down situation.
And that's something from last season, noticed watching some of their old games there. He has a great relationship with his receivers as they somehow just always find an opening in that zone coverage, and right there the experienced Kelly does exactly that.
Nose of the ball resting at the 25-yard line of Westlake. This is their opening drive of the game. No score in the early stages. Just over a minute has come off of this first quarter clock. We've got a whistle and a timeout taken by Westlake. They want to talk this over on third down. Timeouts brought to you by Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran, securing and organizing real estate documents. That's Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran. We'll take a quick timeout and come back after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. Coming out of that timeout, Westlake will have it. Third down and 5 at their own 25-yard line. Brucheri's been working with an empty backfield this entire drive. He'll be in that same situation here on third down. Grabs the shotgun snap, looking to his left. Now going across the middle, leaping grab is made just past the 35 and taken down near the 37-yard line is the tight end Chris Campbell for a first down.
Campbell, probably the biggest target that he'll have to work with for this entire season. Use every inch of that 6'3" frame right there to pull that one in.
We were talking with Coach Shantek earlier in the week, and he mentioned that Campbell didn't really start playing football until he was a sophomore. And he's starting to get a lot of attention right now. Stop at our head referee, Chuck Caskey, is calling for it to begin winding yet again. Ostrowski now off the right hip of the quarterback, Brucheri. They'll give this one to Ostrowski, trying to make a cut up to about the 40-yard line. He goes, and he'll be dropped near the 41. Max, one thing that stands out about this Midview defense, there's more than just one guy on the ball. I mean, they tackle well collectively, and they do it with so many different bodies.
That's right. They rallied there, and it was a great job by the defensive line creating the initial push and then finished off by Wyatt Lehman, the linebacker.
The pickup of just about 5 yards. Brucheri dropping back again, throw his left side. This time it's caught by Dominic Napoli, but he's dropped by Cross Wervey near the 46. They do pick up a couple, and another third down situation facing Westlake here. It'll be third down at about 2.
Right here, we're seeing Brucheri do a great job of navigating the situations, keeping them ahead of the chains even after that early penalty.
Third down and 2 for Westlake at their own 46-yard line. Ostrowski in the backfield with Brucheri. It's a keeper. Right side, Brucheri able to get about the 48. He's close, but there is some laundry on the other sideline. Let's see here. There's a flag laying at about the 42. Early indications it's a sideline warning. And of course, when that happens the first time, it doesn't cost you.
Very fortunate there is now this will allow them to decide if they want to go for it this early in the game. We'll see how aggressive the Westlake coaches choose to be.
Well, the punting is done by Brucheri, so there's always that possibility of a pooch kick here. He'll stay in the shotgun. Jake Ostrowski off his right hip. Fourth and short. He'll take the snap, and it'll be a keeper by Brucheri again. Takes it off the right edge, and he's able to get just past the 48 to the 49 for a first down. The tackle was made by Cameron West there at the 49-yard line, and he got to him just about a yard too late.
I'll tell you what, Boucheri, fantastic with that read option as he is waiting to the last possible second to make that decision, making it really hard on the Midi defenders to choose who they'd like to hit first.
Well, you have to account for him in the rushing attack. And I think that's one of the things that just makes him so hard to defend. He throws a real nice ball. We talked earlier about how, there are some Division I schools looking at him, some Ivy League schools to be in particular. Boucheri will take the snap, gives to Ostrowski. He takes it up to the 50-yard line. Wyatt Lehman, one of the first ones there to greet him. He picks up just a little, maybe a yard, possibly two, depending on the spot.
So far, it's been tough sledding up front for that Westlake Demons offense running the ball. They've had no problem spreading it out and being able to hit receivers all over the field in open space, but right now that running game struggling to get going when it isn't Boucheri, and even when it is him, it's been a harder fight for yards every time.
Coming up on the 8th play of this drive, 2nd down and 8 for Westlake. Boucheri drops back, facing some pressure, throws right side, the pass falls incomplete at the 42. He was facing some pressure. Looked like somebody got a hold of his shoe tops, and that was Wyatt Lehman again, who was in on the play.
Yes, he's been in that backfield too many times to count now, and great job by Boucheri. They're just maintaining his composure and getting rid of the ball and not forcing it into any tough situation or tough window.
3rd down and 8. This has been the toughest 3rd down situation that the Demons have been in so far on this drive. Coming up on the 9th play of it, Boucheri will fake the give, rolls out left side, throws to Campbell, the tight end, makes the catch, and then he's stuck right around the 47-yard line. He's going to need a lot more than that to move the sticks. So they try the tight end again. Campbell picks him up a couple, but not nearly enough. It's 4th down.
Yeah, this is a great job by the secondary there of Midview staying home and forcing the check down option there to the big tight end.
Well, they went for it before on 4th down and short. Here, they're looking at 4th down and about 6. Boucheri claps his hands together. Somebody jumped up front. That's going to cost Midview 5.
And it looks like it's going to be the 68 of Schenberger there. Is right over the center. That's always the toughest one to deal with, especially in the film room.
Well, that makes the decision a heck of a lot easier for Westlake here.
It certainly does.
Nose of the ball resting at the 42. They've got to get it just past the 41 to keep this drive going. Boucheri will have Ostrowski off his right side. 3 receiver look, takes the high snap, gives to Ostrowski, room right side, past the 40, and he's tackled by Cameron West at the 38-yard line. The second 4th down conversion of this drive for Westlake. It's 1st and 10.
They're just moving steadily along here. Great job by Ostrowski cutting that outside to the open space rather than trying to beat the physical front that's been the Midview defense so far.
It's 1st and 10 for Westlake. They're now in Midview territory at the Middies 38. Got 2 receivers lined up on the near side with Ostrowski the lone setback. Boucheri back to pass again. Pressure coming, throws over the middle, and the pass is caught by Kelly inside the 25, near the 23 for another Demons 1st down.
What fantastic timing on that throw. That's how you know in the offseason they've been honing that craft, as that ball was let go before he even was looking out of his cut by Kelly.
One unit that's been pretty impressive so far, and one that was certainly in question going into this season, is that Westlake offensive line. They've performed pretty well so far. Bunch the receivers closer to the line of scrimmage now. Boucheri throws left side. The pass falls incomplete. He was looking for Kelly in the flat, but that pass was a little behind him. And 2nd and 10 is coming up now for the Demons.
And the play action component, the RPO, has been doing a tough job on the Midview linebackers, as they have been very hesitant to commit one way or the other. So just speaks to the experience there of Boucheri and the way he's running this offense in the early going.
Westlake's taken nearly 5 minutes off this first quarter clock. This is still the first drive of the game, coming up on play 13. The Middies showing pressure, back to pass. Boucheri, he's got all kinds of time. Now the pocket collapses. He gets sacked. He goes down near the 28-yard line. Well, Mackay Massey was one of the first ones in there to really kind of close that pocket very quickly. But again, there were lots of blue jerseys in on that play.
You can certainly tell once he pump faked at least once or twice, that's when the timer's got to go off. But he wanted the big play. He had both Kelly as well as his other receiver, Napoli, going on streaks, and neither of them were able to break the top off the coverage.
They've credited Max Kuchera with the sack, and now it's 3rd down and long for Westlake. Drops back to pass again. Brucheri, he's in some trouble, throws this one across the middle, and it's caught just inside the 15 at the 14-yard line by Dominic Napoli. That's going to be really close. He had to get to about the 14, and they may have to call the chain gang out here to measure this.
I mean, that's as close to 13 yards as you can get on the pass. And how about that? While he was being dragged down by Braden Hamoki, the linebacker for the Mid, he still somehow got the ball in the perfect spot.
And they don't need the chain gang to move forward 10 yards. They say it's a 1st down. Naked eye observation from Chuck Caskey, our head referee, and they are officially inside the red zone. Brucheri will take the snap. He'll keep it himself. Takes it left side. He gets popped by Lehman. The ball comes loose. Midview's all over it, and the Middies recover the fumble at the 13-yard line. Wyatt Lehman popped it loose. Max Kuchera came away with the loose ball. And on the 14th play of the drive, the Midview defense forces a huge turnover.
My goodness, what a heads-up play there to hop on the ball by Kuchera. But, man, those physical hits. I mean, Brucheri's willing to take them, but right there, paid the price on trying to get that extra yard or two.
Well, they were inside the red zone. A red zone brought to you by Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services. Selling or buying your next home? Visit superstevesells.com. That's superstevesells.com. Well, now the officials are saying he was down. Much to the dismay of the home crowd here. So it remains Westlake ball. Well, the yardstick still says 1st down. I'm a little confused by what happened there.
I guess the officials convened and maybe felt he was down. Wow, okay.
Snap taken by Brucheri. They'll give to Ostrowski. Goes up the middle. He's able to break 2 tackles, drags a few defenders with him inside the 5, and he goes down near the 4.
And a moment like this is going to really test the veterans on that Midview defense being able to bounce back from adversity like that, and we'll see if they can hold up here as they get closer inside the 5.
So the ball is at the 4-yard line, and boy, that's a big momentum shift. Sure looked like that Midview defense came through with a huge turnover, but that was nullified. Brucheri will grab the snap. They give to Ostrowski again. He gets stood up and dropped at the 5-yard line. Again, a number of blue jerseys there to drop him, but that was Nathan Schenberger, who was the first one to wrap him up. And we also have some laundry. We've got a hold coming against Westlake. Well, this is interesting because if you take the result of the play, it's a 2-yard loss. It's 3rd down. But you march them back 10 yards. Now you're looking at 2nd down again. And they'll run this play from right around the 14-yard line.
And yeah, this may, like again, play into the hands of a Westlake offense that wants to give Brucheri more space to work with. So we'll see if they try to take advantage of it. And the 5 wide, got to assume they may.
Ball at the 14. They take the holding penalty. Empty backfield. Brucheri drops back, throws left, caught by Campbell. The tight end breaks 1 tackle, and then he gets popped, and he lost the ball again. And this time Midview does recover it. And this time there's no question whatsoever. So the Midview Middies will tell you after the game they forced 2 turnovers on this drive, but only 1 will actually count in the eye of the officials. Another big hit and a huge turnover for the Middies. They'll take over inside their own 15-yard line.
That's, like we've talked about a couple times, Campbell, one of the most experienced players on that offense, especially in the skill positions. So you don't expect that too often from him. But now we'll see how this Westlake defense responds.
5:10 to play, first quarter. No score in this game between Midview and Westlake. That opening drive for the Demons, 15 plays. They marched inside the Middies' 15-yard line, but they turn it over on a fumble. And we'll get our first look at this Midview Middies offense, led by junior quarterback Shea Williams. And this drive will officially begin at their own 13-yard line. I think a lot of people would tell you that they're really excited about this experienced group of wide receivers. Lots of seniors in that group. Williams takes the shotgun snap. And he fumbled it. He lost it on the exchange. It's picked up by Westlake and taken into the end zone. Touchdown. Jake Ostrowski picks up the loose ball and marches into the end zone. It'll be about a 10-yard fumble return for a touchdown. And Mr. Momentum changes his address rather quickly on Midview's first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, they tried to do the read option of their own, and that time just either miscommunication or too late of a decision to pull the ball out there. But Ostrowski, if you're a Westlake fan, you might have thought on that previous offensive possession it would have ended with him running one in. Well, he ended up running in anyway, just on the defensive side of the ball. What a response by the Demons.
Sean Evilsizer is the kicker for Westlake. Snap goes back, a hold is down, extra point is on the way, and it is good. Westlake takes a 7-0 lead over the Midview Middies with 5:04 to play here in the first quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. After a 12-yard scoop and score from Jake Ostrowski on Midview's first play from scrimmage, the Westlake Demons have a 7-0 lead despite the fact that they turned it over on their opening drive of the game. Glad to have you dialed in tonight on the Lorain County Sports Network. Andy Bolbarch, Max Drummond on the call. Edwin Vereen is our director. Sam Sovacool working the camera. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Sean Evilsizer ready to kick this one away. There are three back deep to receive this one for the Midview Middies. Cameron West, Dior Jones, and Mike Passarello, both waiting inside their own 5. Evilsizer will kick this one away. High kick, end over end. And Passarello retrieves it at about the 5. Takes it up to the 10. He's to the 20. Gets a seam. He's inside of the 30. He gets to the near sideline. Off to the races. He's on the Westlake 40 to the 35. And Evilsizer escorts him out of bounds near the 31-yard line. What a kickoff return by Mike Passarello.
Another great crease there along that right side of the return unit. And I see a flag back at the 40. I think that may be another sideline interference. Midview sideline getting a little hyped up over there. So we'll see if this actually does come back. But
so you were right. At least as of right now, it looks like that's just a sideline warning, but that's actually happened to both teams now. So the next time that happens, that will cost them yardage. The first one of those went against Westlake. But you're right, this one's understandable. These guys are hyped watching a huge kickoff return.
And boy, did they need that kind of momentum right there after what just happened on the previous offensive drive.
So here comes this Midview offense for the second time tonight, trailing 7-0 with 4:54 to play in the first quarter. They have a new tailback of the game here. It'll be Marcus McMahon. They want to give Passarello a quick blow after that huge kickoff return. Man in motion, it's Dior Jones. They'll hand it off to Jones. Takes it left side, scoots inside the 30, breaks a tackle. He's inside the 25, and he's dropped near the 23.
And pretty straightforward there. I know the exchange still got to lock it down, but as soon as they did, just let Dior Jones get in space and move with the ball, and easy pickup of 8 there on first down.
A pair of receivers lined up far side left. It's Camden Scott and Cross Worthy in the slot. Jones is lined up near side right. This time they'll hand it off to McMahon. He makes his way out of a tackle, getting up to about the 21-yard line. The nose tackle had a piece of him. Tamer Abedrabo slowed him down before the rest of his teammates could clean that up.
Yeah, good job there by McMahon, just getting enough to keep the chains where they are at the moment. Still giving them a manageable third down here to go for the Middies.
So it's third down and short here. They've got to get just inside the 22-yard line. McMahon off the left tip. Shea Williams, the quarterback. He'll grab the snap. It'll be a keeper. Takes it left side. He's got some room past the 20. He extends this toward the far sideline. Turns the corner at the 10. He's inside the 5, and he's dropped near the 3-yard line. First and goal coming up for the Middies.
And we knew coming into this game, that's a different dynamic, a different element that Shea Williams brought to this offense. And he finally gets to showcase it right there, setting him up just on the doorstep of the end zone.
Once again, inside the Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services red zone. Visit superstevesells.com for more information. They've got the ball lined up on the left hash at the 1 yard line. First down and goal. Logan Lane, the tight end, in motion left. They'll give to McMahon. Big hole left side. Punches his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Middies. A 1 yard touchdown rush for Marcus McMahon. And the Middies an extra point away from tying this up. This was all set up by that huge kickoff return by Mike Passarello.
That's the best case scenario right there. And obviously, you don't need to give your defense much rest because they weren't out there as quick as you want to make it. And that Midview offense wasted no time. And they were able to do so with several different players touching the ball, too.
On for the extra point, Ethan Morris, to try and make this a 7-7 ball game with just over 3.5 minutes to go in the opening stanza. Extra point is on the way and good. We're tied at 7 with 3:32 to play in the first quarter between Midview and Westlake on the Lorain County Sports Network. Points have been scored so far. Jake Ostrowski, a 12-yard scoop and score and a fumble return for a touchdown for Westlake, and moments ago Marcus McMahon, a 1-yard touchdown rush. Just a 4-play drive for Midview. Mike Passarello with a great kickoff return. Brought it all the way to the Westlake 31-yard line, and again, just 4 plays later, Midview ties it up. That's where we stand at 7 apiece.
And so much time passed on that first drive for Westlake. Now it feels like the game has been moving in slow motion, at least on the game clock itself.
Ethan Morris kicks this one away. High end overrun kick. Chase Kelly backing up into his own end zone. He'll make the grab there near the eye in Middies in that south end zone for a touchback. And out trots this Westlake offense, which oddly enough, Max, we haven't seen them in a while, but they had the ball a ton at the beginning of this game.
That's right. It doesn't feel like they've got the ball very recently, but on this drive, we'll see how they adjust to a couple of fumbles there that whether one was counted or not, but either way, they did put the ball on the ground twice, and we'll see how they respond to that, and if we'll see 2 hands on the ball here maybe at the start of the drive.
Seemed like they got into a pretty good rhythm in that passing game, but as you mentioned, they coughed it up twice in a matter of 3 plays. Brucheri will clap his hands together, gets the snap. They'll hand this one off. Right side taken up to about the 22-yard line. And they took Ostrowski out, and it looked like they gave that one to Antonio Colon. Now, Colon's a starting linebacker for these guys, but they're changing things up a little bit there in the backfield. Colon in there again off the right hip of Brucheri. Hard snap count, trying to see if he can get Midview to show their hand here a bit. Play clock's down to 10 for the Demons. Brucheri looking far side to his offensive coaches. He'll take the snap. Some pressure coming. He steps up, throws this one left side, incomplete, just over the outstretched arms of Chase Kelly. And Brucheri felt the pressure there, Max. He took a pop at the end of that play.
That's right. We've been seeing Midview get home a little bit more now at the end of the first drive that they were on, and now to start this drive. So we'll see if they have to start leaving in a tight end or a halfback to maybe assist with that pass rush that the Middies are now dealing them.
3rd down and 7 to go at their own 23-yard line. Brucheri facing a 4-man rush. He's being pressured again. Rolls out near side left, looking down the field. He just throws that into the turf at the 19-yard line. There's a flag back around the 17, and that came in the area where you normally see holding.
Pretty big collision there, as it did look like Midview sent at least one extra rusher, but yeah, that Demons offensive line right now trying to adjust to some of these changes they're seeing up front.
It's a hold against Westlake, but they're going to decline because the incompletion will bring up 4th down.
So we've seen the Westlake offense go for it a few times. Not sure this deep into their own territory we'll get that again.
This should be a little gutsy. I don't know Coach Yantek well enough to know if he's got that in him early on in the year at this point in the game. Maybe he does. Brasheari's still in the game, but he also handles the punting duties for Westlake. He'll take the snap, get this punt away. It's a low one, and it is retrieved right around the 48-yard line by Passarello. He's able to scoot his way past the 35 of Westlake, and he's tackled near the 31. It was Charbel Ryda who brought him down, and Max, if he gets by Ryda, he might be making his way into the end zone.
Yeah, he's certainly making his impact on this game on the special teams. We know he's a great defender, great hitter at safety, and also one of their key playmakers on offense, but that third phase of the game, can't forget about that, and Passarello certainly is not either.
Well, he brought the previous kickoff to the 31-yard line, and, well, here Midview is again after a nice punt return at the Westlake 31-yard line. Trying to put themselves in the driver's seat in what's been an entertaining first quarter. We're deadlocked at 7 with 2:23 to play. Shea Williams works in the shotgun. He'll have Marcus McMahon off his left side. 3-receiver formation. Dior Jones in motion right to left. It's a delayed handoff to McMahon. He's tripped up and he goes down at the 31-yard line. He was tackled on the play by Sean Pavich. Junior defensive end brought him down for no gain.
Yeah, so right there, Ashton Johnson, the left guard for Midview, pulled around and tried to set up a lead block, but great job there by the junior Pavich, just diagnosing that and immediately going after the running back, trailing that guard on his hip.
He wasn't fooled on the fake to Jones. They ran that play earlier, and Jones ended up getting a pretty big chunk of yardage. They'll send Logan Lane, the tight end, in motion. Snap goes to Williams. Big hole right side, gets inside the 30 and knocked down along the numbers near the 28.
Going to be pretty tough for anybody on that Midview offense to get away from the likes of Chris Campbell. 6'3", 220, and definitely one of the best returning starters on that defense.
Well, they have to get to the 21-yard line, so it'll be third and about 7 here for Midview. They haven't run a ton of plays offensively here tonight. Having said that, they also haven't thrown a pass just yet. Haven't needed to. Williams drops back to pass. Facing pressure, throws left side, incomplete. That went in and out of the hands of Zach Wallace. Wallace, a 5'9", 155-pound junior. They had that screen set up, but he just wasn't able to hang on to it near the 29-yard line. Well, you'd like to think this is probably 4-down territory here, unless they want the kicker, Ethan Morris, to try what would be about a 45-yarder.
Yeah, if he's got this in his arsenal, I can't blame them for trying him out there. This should be interesting right here.
That's exactly what they're going to do. It'll be a 45-yard attempt. Snap goes back. The hold is down. The kick's on the way. A line drive kick. It's got plenty of distance, but he missed it. So the field goal is no good. A 45-yard attempt. And we remain tied at 7 apiece with just inside of a minute to play here in the opening quarter. And you have to think that Westlake defense certainly dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, big sigh of relief on that one. As you know, it's never great to be in the shadow of your own goalpost, or on your own half of the field anyway, as the starting point. And just a good job. We're seeing both teams right now respond well to adversity and to being in disadvantaged situations. So we'll see if Midview can turn around and do the same here, or if that Westlake offense led by Bruce Sherry is able to go on a drive once again.
Well, they applied a lot of pressure to Brasheary in that last drive. One of the many reasons why they went 3 and out. Jake Ostrowski back in the game on the right side of Brasheary, who drops back and looks right, facing pressure again. He gets hit, and he's dropped right around the 15-yard line. A flag came in at the very end of that play. He was in the grasp of Sawyer McMillan. Let's see what this flag is all about. And it's a face mask against Midview.
And Brasheary just so great at extending plays, and right there it helps lead to a penalty, of course. But they've got to do something to deal with this pressure, and on that one, it was mainly just the guys up front. You mentioned McMillan, the sophomore, also Makai Massey getting in there on it, tracking down as well. So they've got to do something to address these pass rush issues they're dealing with.
So it'll be first down and 5 after that face mask penalty for Westlake. Brasheary will fake the give to Ostrowski, throws right side, caught on the left hip with the tight end Campbell. He's escorted out of bounds on the far side. He got close to a first down. And I think they're going to spot him down right around the 28, so that'll bring up third down, or I should say second down and 2.
They've been very comfortable getting involved, the big tight end here early on a lot of these short dump down routes. So we'll see if that leads to more downfield action and drawing up some of those safeties and linebackers.
Second down and 2 to go. 37 seconds left in the second quarter clock. Brucheri keeps it, takes it off the right edge, gets to the sideline. He's knocked out of bounds by Passarello. And from here, looks like he's got a first down. He's right at that 30-yard line. That's about where he needed to get to move the sticks, and it is indeed a Westlake first down.
Well, he's been very active with his legs in this opening quarter, and he's needed to be. So we'll see if they continue to try to do so with the read option, or if on some of these dropbacks he chooses to tuck it and take off.
Brucheri waiting on that shotgun snap. There was movement on the left side of that Midview defensive line, but not enough movement for there to be a flag. Logan Yantek, the head coach of Westlake, was their offensive coordinator the last few years. He's still calling the plays for the Demons. Brucheri grabs the snap. They give to Ostrowski. Nowhere to go. Once again, it was Sawyer McMillan who wrapped him up. He had nowhere to go. And it'll be second down at about 9.
This sophomore is making an impact early in his first chances at varsity playing time. And it certainly is going to be a problem here for the rest of this game if Westlake can't get a hold of him.
Tied at 7, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. At the end of 1, it's Midview 7, Westlake 7. Second quarter coming your way after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. At the end of 1, Midview and Westlake tied at 7. Andy Bolbarch, Max Drummond on the call for you. Edwin Vereen, our director, and Sam Sovacool on the cameras. Friday night lights shining down upon us for the first time in many months. A day we've been waiting for a very long time, and Max, so far a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, it's not disappointing. We've had a lot of exciting plays and ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster so far, so looking forward to another 3 quarters.
Second down and 9. For Westlake, now going from our left to our right here. Jake Ostrowski changing sides of the line of scrimmage here. Brucheri sets up a screen, caught by Chase Kelly across the middle. He's past the 30, and he gets popped around the 33-yard line. Again, a number of middies in on that stop. Kelly's able to pick up just a couple on that screen. And Max, it didn't look like that Midview defense was too confused by that.
Yeah, it seemed like it maybe had a chance to get past Massey there, but Passarello and some of the other midi defenders did a great job rallying to the ball. And Passarello, I mean, he almost feels like a linebacker just with the speed of a safety. It's almost unfair for that Westlake offense having to deal with him.
Empty backfield for Brucheri. He drops back. Pass goes over the middle. The pass falls incomplete. He was looking for Kelly, but really nice coverage on the play. Braden Hamoki was able to get his paws in there and slightly redirect that, and the incompletion brings up fourth down.
And the timing on that still very solid there. As it hit Kelly right where he needed to be past that first down marker, but like you mentioned, great recovery there by the junior Hamoki.
So it's fourth down and 6. Offense stays on the field. Brucheri. Let's see if maybe he can get Midview to jump off sides. They did once already in a 4th and long situation. Play clock down to 5 now, and now he'll take a few steps back, indicating that he's going to punt this one away. He'll do just that. High kick, end over end. Passarello makes an over-the-shoulder grab inside the 30-yard line. Evades one defender, gets past the 30, stretches this to the far sideline. He's past the midfield stripe, and he's tackled down from behind near the 45. And a couple of yards before he went down, there was a flag that was thrown near the 48.
We've got one up there. We've got another one down the field near the 34. I mean, we'll see if Westlake gets away with just one, or maybe they were responsible for both.
Right now, as it stands, another real nice return for Mike Passarello. As a coach, it probably makes you take a couple of extra deep breaths, knowing your return man's making an over-the-shoulder catch on a return, but he made the most of it.
That he did, and such a great athlete in space. He's getting the most of his opportunities no matter where they come.
All right, so somebody moved early for Westlake, and there was also a hold for Midview. It's an illegal procedure for Westlake, and holding on Midview. So they're going to have to replay that. And that certainly benefits Westlake, because that negates what would have been about a 25-yard punt return and would have set up Midview once again inside Westlake territory.
Yeah, now with a little bit of fatigue on Passarello after taking the last one out, we'll see how much gas he's got in the tank on this return, if he is back there for it or if they choose to punt towards him.
He's still on the field. And again, when you have the quarterback that takes care of all the punting duties, we're seeing this more and more in high school football. The element of surprise is always there. It keeps you guessing. You're not quite sure. You can't really put a guy too deep back there.
And as you say that, it looks like Passarello as well as West are both going to be within 10 to 15 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Bruscieri gets this punt away. High kick, end over end. This one's going to bounce at about the 31-yard line. Takes a nice Westlake bounce going inside the 30. That's still rolling, and it'll be downed at the 24 of Midview. Not a bad punt by Bruscieri. And a bit of a tough break for Midview, because that's a swing of just about 30 yards.
At least, and now we'll have to see this Midview offense try to go the length of the field. They haven't been set up to where they've scored doing that yet. We obviously saw them in great field position earlier to be able to do so, but now this will really test out that offense and see if they can get a full drive under their belts here.
Second quarter clock reads 10:55. Midview will have it at their own 24-yard line. The last two times they started a drive, it was inside Westlake territory. Shea Williams will have Cameron West in the backfield along with Marcus McMahon. He'll grab the snap. They give to McMahon. He takes it straight up the middle. He's dragging defenders with him past the 30, and he's taken to the turf near the 32-yard line. Tough running by Marcus McMahon.
That's right, and we've seen him get the ball quite a few times now for that offense, and it's helping give a breather to guys like Passarello and as well as Cameron West.
Oddly enough, we haven't seen a whole lot of Passarello in the running game. Shea Williams, surprised with a snap. It goes right over his shoulder. He's got to recover this inside the 15-yard line. He'll jump on it near the 13. He wasn't expecting that snap.
No, he was not. Standing at just 5'11", even if he was looking in the vicinity of it, maybe still would have gone past him. But now that makes your play calling here a lot different for third down for the Midview offense.
And you're right. That seems to put you in a pretty obvious passing situation. They haven't put the ball in the air yet.
With that in mind, maybe we'll see the first downfield attempt for Dior Jones. He had 172 yards in the game against Westlake last year, so we'll see if he can get a chance.
4-receiver look. Williams will send Jones in motion. He'll take the shotgun snap. He's got time to throw. He's being chased. Rolls out near side. Throws it down the field. Sliding attempt made, but the pass falls incomplete. Cross Vervey tried to make what would have been a pretty nice grab, but even if he had hung on to that, he would have been short. And Midview's going to be forced to punt here.
And of course, we didn't get the best representation of what their offense could do there with the errant snap and the miscommunication on that. So now we'll just see if they can set up their defense in a little bit favorable position. Be tough to tell here.
Camden Scott with his heels on his own end zone here, getting ready to punt this one away. He'll get this punt off. Short kick, high kick. That'll bounce at about the 35. Takes a nice Midview roll inside the 45-yard line, where it'll be down right there. So Westlake, who really hasn't benefited from great field position, will do just that here. They've got the ball inside Midview territory. And credit this Midview defense. Look, I mean, we talk a lot about how Boucheri can send it all over the place, but Midview's had an answer for him their last few drives.
He certainly.
The ball down the field. Moments ago, Sam Boucheri, about a 7-yard pickup. It's third down and short here. Boucheri will grab the snap, looking, throws left side, caught by Ostrowski. He's knocked out of bounds, and he got just enough for a first down. They'll mark him down inside the 10, right around the 8-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that pass by Boucheri had to be out when it was, because Max Kuchera for Midview was closing in and almost got a hand on that.
Westlake inside the red zone once again, or Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services red zone. Visit superstevesells.com for more information. First down and goal at the Midview 8-yard line. Boucheri calling for the snap. He gets it, and it'll be a keeper. He gets up to about the 6-yard line where a number of Midview defenders are there to greet him. He picks up just a couple on that play. Here again, another long, sustained drive. Coming up on the 8th play of it.
We haven't seen them go for a quote-unquote end zone shot yet here in this when they've been in the red zone. So we'll see if they take the reins off and give Boucheri a chance to go up top like that. They've still got a couple chances here before they get to 4th down.
Boucheri drops back again. Rolling out to his left. He's able to step up and make his way past the 5 inside into the end zone. Touchdown, Westlake. A 6-yard touchdown rush for Sam Boucheri. And the Westlake Demons have a 13-7 lead. However, there is some laundry on the field. The officials gathering near the 6-yard line. And it'll be unsportsmanlike against the Midview Middies. So the touchdown will indeed count. Another flag comes flying in here. So it looks like Midview's going to get dinged twice for unsportsmanlike. It stands at 13-7. Midview trailing Westlake, and the extra point coming up here.
And if you're Jack Armstrong, you know you have a veteran team, and mistakes like that, or after the whistle, you are certainly looking to avoid that at any means possible.
We also have an injured Westlake Demon down on the field in the end zone, and while they tend to the young man, we'll step aside and take a quick timeout and come back after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. Waiting on the extra point after a 6-yard touchdown rush from Sam Boucheri, the quarterback. On a keeper, he's able to take it in to make it 13-7 Westlake, and the extra point coming up. Sean Evilsizer put one through the uprights earlier. Now back-to-back unsportsmanlike conduct penalties called on Midview, and that's going to be assessed on the kickoff. And that's going to make things really interesting on this Middies offense. And they've capitalized with some really nice field position to this point. Snap goes back, extra point is on the way, and it is good. Evilsizer makes it 14-7 Westlake with 6:46 to play here in the first quarter. Because we just took a break, we'll keep this one right here, Max. And, you know, it was a good sight for Westlake to see a tough one as well, as Sam Boucheri kind of limped off the field. He was the injured player down in the end zone. He walked off under his own power, but very clearly that's not a young man that Westlake can do without.
No, definitely not, as we've seen him step up and make a lot of plays here in this first half. And also, I think on that touchdown run, he showed what he was all about last year, and what he's been about to start this game is that he's going to do whatever it takes to get the job done right there. They needed the score. They stalled too many times down the red zone, so they turned around, and he just goes and makes it happen, and was willing to put his body on the line to do so as well.
Well, Westlake will be kicking this off from Midview territory. They're going to march this thing all the way up.
My goodness. Might be field goal range, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, they've got this marked at the 30-yard line of Midview. If this isn't a touchback, I think I owe the entire crew dinner tonight, right? How about that?
There you go. Now something's on the line.
And now something's on the line. That's it. Well, Westlake's called a timeout. You know, here, it's not really a gamble to go for an onside kick, is it?
That's a very good point.
I think that's something they have to at least discuss, because the risk is most definitely worth the reward. You don't get it. I mean, Midview maybe falls on it at about the 25-yard line.
Where they might end up to start a drive anyway.
Yeah.
A touchback, so that's a very good point.
Want to invite you to stick around for our halftime show, brought to you by Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance. Uninsured, enrolled today with Health Markets Insurance in Amherst. We'll take a look at some stats, tell you how the scoring was done, and we'll try and find some other scores from around the area. our WDLW game tonight. Just saw a quick update on Twitter. A 21-0 Avon lead over St. Ignatius.
Wow.
All right, well, Evil Sizer's got this teed up at 30. And, I mean, you got to think that onside kick is at least in play here. There it is. And that didn't quite go far enough. It's recovered right around the 21-yard line by Midview, and there was a flag on the play as well. And it looks like somebody wasn't lined up properly for Midview. At least that's the indication from one of our officials here near the 20-yard line.
In a situation like this, you'd maybe expect Westlake touching the ball early there, but yeah, wow, maybe another chance at it.
Well, it was recovered right around the 21. And it looks like they want to spot this thing at the 20-yard line, which would make a whole lot of sense. Now the officials are trying to figure out where they want to put the ball down here. They're going to kick this off from the 25 now. That's what should happen, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right from the original point, but since it's dead ball foul, I would take it.
All right, Evil Sizer will tee it up at the 25. I can't see why they wouldn't go for an onside kick again here.
Yes, in Midview, definitely awaiting one here. They got some of their best pass catchers up there on the front line.
Yeah, they got the hands team out there. Onside kick again from Evil Sizer, and he picks this one up around the 15-yard line, and I think he touched it early. It looked like somebody maybe moved early also for Westlake. Evil Sizer tried to pick that up, but he touched it before it went 10 yards, and it also looked like someone moved early as well. So looks like we might have to do this again.
He's getting plenty of practice for onside kicks here for the season just in week 1, so that's a positive at least the Demons can take out of this, I suppose.
So now they move back to the 30-yard line. And you know they're going to run the same play. Again, no reason not to.
It still probably leads to the same amount of anxiety for that Midview coaching staff.
Oh, yeah.
They've been on edge for several plays now.
Well, yeah, because if you don't recover this, you're in danger of going down 2 scores. The last 2 onside attempts have not gone past 10 yards. He's lined up about 7 yards past the ball. He'll run up, kick it again. It's a pop-up kick now, and this will be retrieved right around the 9-yard line. I'll tell you what, that's a real nice play by Gage Weaver to make that catch, running back and looking up over his shoulder to haul that in. He doesn't get that. That's way past 10 yards, and that could have spelled doom for the Middies.
Certainly is, and I love how he didn't try to go and make a play after it, just make the smart play, the safe play. Now give your offense a chance here to go and set something up and to potentially tie this ball game up on this drive.
So after the 3 onside attempts, they go with a pop-up kick, which pins Midview deeper inside their own territory at their own 9. Shea Williams won a quarterback battle in camp, beating out both Brendan Newton and Cody Martin. He works here with 2 tailbacks in the formation. Waiting on a shotgun snap, he'll get it. And this time they'll give it left side to Cameron West. Big block at the 15-yard line. He's able to get past the 20 before being knocked out of bounds near the 21. And a flag came in right around the 35-yard line. It looked like there might have been a face mask in there, but again, that was thrown by an official that was much further down the field. West went down a step or 2 out of bounds. The result of the play right now is about a 12-yard pickup.
And he did a great job cutting around his blockers and delivering a nasty stiff arm at the end of that run.
West is a guy that Midview is going to have very, very much involved in this rushing attack. It was a personal foul against Westlake, and they tacked that on to the end of the rush. So that's a 15-yard penalty at the end of the rush, which again picked them up about 12 yards. So now they have the ball at the 36.
And going in a hurry here.
Williams grabs the snap again. He'll hand this one off straight at the middle. Passarello, he's able to angle his way inside the 43-yard line.
So now we see them slightly going away from the reading and the option moves, just giving it to these tailbacks and letting them go to work here. It's working so far on this drive.
And you mentioned they're using some more tempo here on this drive. Williams again will give to Passarello. Big hole. Take that back at McMahon. McMahon breaks a tackle at the 40. He's to the 30. One man to beat. Russell down from behind at the 13-yard line. First down, Middies. Marcus McMahon was a Charbel right a tackle away from getting to pay dirt. A huge pickup, setting up the Middies 1st and 10 inside the red zone. And we have another injury for the Demons here as there's a young man down right around the 41-yard line. So let's take a timeout while they tend to this young man. Again, Midview trailing 14-7 to Westlake with 5:55 to play here in the second quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. The injured young man, Jake Ostrowski, is able to trot onto the far sideline. He gets off the field under his own power. So coming out of that injury timeout, it's 1st down and 10 for Midview at the Westlake 13-yard line. Shea West will grab the snap. Gives to Passarello. Takes it right side. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's dragged down from behind near the 3.
Physical tackle that time from Chase Kelly, not letting go, preventing a potential touchdown, but now 1st and goal here for the Middies.
During our Stewart's TV and Appliance pregame show, Coach Jack Armstrong of the Midview Middies went out of his way to mention just how much deeper he thought they were in this running game. A lot of different bodies that can hurt you in that rushing attack. He was very happy with the way things looked in practice leading up to this game. Williams hands it off. Passarello left side. He gets dropped at the 3-yard line. Ran right into the open arms of Chris Campbell, the linebacker. No gain in the play.
And Campbell's been forced to be active today, obviously catching a few passes on offense, but also he's been forced to get around and cover a lot of ground on defense for the Demons so far this evening.
2nd and goal at the 3. And we've seen a lot of different ball carriers. McMahon's taken a bulk of the load. We've seen Passarello more on this particular drive. West got one early on in this drive as well. Shea Williams toted the rock as well. He'll grab the shotgun snap, gives to Passarello, takes it left side, breaks a tackle, and he works his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Middies. He ran right through Stephen Trowbridge. A 3-yard touchdown rush for Passarello, and that will give the Middies a 1-point deficit, down 14-13 with the extra point pending. A chance to tie this thing up with 4:56 to play in the second.
Great extension there at the very end of that run to ensure he got the ball across the goal line and restore some momentum here as we get within 5 minutes to halftime.
Ethan Morris's extra point on the way and good. We are tied at 14 apiece with just inside of 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. After a 3-yard touchdown rush for Mike Passarello, we are tied at 14 apiece with 4:54 to play in the second quarter. Midview and Westlake in the 2024 season opener. Last year, of course, Westlake a 42-28 winner, and we figured this one would be every bit as entertaining, and not quite 2 full quarters into this one, Max. It has lived up to the billing.
We certainly could be on our way to a lot of scoring, a lot more throughout the remainder of this quarter and into the second half, and that'll be nice to see a regular kickoff here from Midview.
That was a 5-play, 91-yard drive for the Middies. They scored very quickly. Got to the end zone in less than 2 minutes. In the end zone for a touchback. Good to see that young man out there. Looked like he was dealing with some cramping issues in the first few weeks of the high school football season. That's incredibly common. And just as I say that, there's another Westlake Demon down right around the 39.
Having a teammate help him get some stretching in there, it appears.
And he's up and ready to head to the far sideline under his own power. So good to see that young man, Gino Woods, up and heading back to the sideline. Well, here comes this Westlake offense. The last time they were out there, Sam Brucheri got into the end zone in the 6-yard touchdown plunge and took a pretty big pop at the end of that play. But again, he walked off under his own power. And Brucheri's been slinging the ball all over the place, although, Max, they haven't taken too many chances deep down the field.
That's right. We haven't really seen them open it up yet. A lot of passes in the intermediate or little short check down passes. So as we get closer to halftime, depending on how much time they take off, possibly see them get into more of that.
Brucheri will be by himself in the backfield. 5 receiver look, 3 to the far side. He's got 2 lined up near side right. Grabs the snap, pressure coming, throws left side, caught by Campbell, the tight end. He went down along the left hash near the 23. It picks up just a couple.
And for Campbell, that's now, by my estimation, his 5th catch on the night already, as they continue to make him an important part of this passing game, maybe trying to set something else up later.
Empty backfield again for Brucheri. He'll look to his right and left before grabbing the snap. He sees some pressure, steps up, throws across the middle. Campbell makes the catch at the 31-yard line. He got stuck at the very end of the play. He was hit by Gage Baraboo, but not before the Demons. We thought we're going to extend the drive, but that ball was down to the 29-yard line. He caught that at the 31, and then his momentum kind of carried him past the 30-yard line, backwards anyways, to the 29, and that's where they spotted the ball, setting up 3rd down and short.
Very important one here, and now with Ostrowski back in the game, we'll see if they choose to go with him or let Brucheri try to get it with his legs.
And now we've got whistles, and we have a timeout called by the Midview Middies. Timeouts throughout the night brought to you by Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran, securing and organizing real estate documents. That's Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran. We'll take a quick timeout as well. 14-14, all tied up with 3:44 to play in the second quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Coming out of the timeout, it'll be 3rd down and short for Westlake. Demons have the ball at their own 29-yard line. About a 6-yard pitch and catch a few moments ago to the tight end, Chris Campbell. In a 3rd down situation facing the Demons here. They've been okay on 3rd down so far here tonight. Jake Ostrowski lined up off the left tip of Brucheri. He'll grab the snap. Play action fake. He throws over the middle, and the pass is caught at the 39-yard line by Campbell for a 1st down. Passarello brought him to the turf near the 40, but that's more than enough to move the sticks.
And a great job there. You mentioned Passarello coming up for the hit, but also the ball fit in between Homoki and Passarello in the perfect spot for only Campbell to get it, and once again moves these chains and keeps that Midview offense off the field.
And you're beginning to see him go to Campbell. He's looking more and more like that security blanket for Brucheri. Play clock down to 10. Brucheri will take the snap. They give to Ostrowski. Tries the middle. Nothing there. He's able to push the pile up to the 42, picking up just a pair of yards. Setting up 2nd and 8.
Right there, seeing Lehman as well as Mackay Massey in the middle doing everything they can to shut that down. And that's why on that 3rd and short, we saw Westlake go over the middle instead of trying to go at that physical front of the Middies.
4 receiver look again for Brucheri. Pressure coming as he drops back. Steps up in the pocket. He's corralled and he's dropped. Nathan Schenberger, along with the sophomore, we've called his name a lot throughout the night, Sawyer McMillan, they kind of collided there and dropped him near the 39.
And those two with a lot of speed off of the edge, and then you combine that with Massey, who's really able to hold it down in the middle there. There's nowhere to step up to and nowhere to scramble out on either side.
But there was a flag on the play. This is going on the Middies. So what looked like a huge sack ends up in some laundry laying on the field. It'll be a first down for Westlake. They go inside Midview territory now at the Middies 48. It's a bit of a dagger for the Middies because that was a huge sack. Brucheri takes the snap, gives to Ostrowski, gets off the left edge. He takes a huge hit at the 45-yard line and goes down after a pickup of just about 3.
My goodness, what a collision at the point of attack. You had Schenberger over there helping clean it up, but I believe Braden Hamoki just getting right into the shoulder of Ostrowski.
2nd down and 7 here.
Now we see Dior Jones enter the game from Midview off that edge, probably provide a little bit more speed and a couple different looks they can give that Westlake offense.
Brucheri facing pressure. Dior Jones right on cue brings Brucheri to the turf at the 43-yard line. Outstanding observation, partner.
And they've been using him very occasionally. Right there takes advantage in sacks, the senior Brucheri.
And Brucheri a little bit slow to get up. He walked off to that far sideline after a 6-yard touchdown rush earlier tonight, and very slow to get up after taking that sack from Jones a few moments ago, although he did pop back up to try and stay in this game. And we have another penalty coming against the Midview Middies here, and I think they may have gotten Jones for a personal foul.
It's either that or in the back end. Either way, that defense it's kick it out of its own way right now, as they've been able to step up a couple times. So we'll see if they can keep responding to that adversity right here.
So that makes it 1st and 10 at the 35. Brucheri claps his hands together, grabs the snap, they give to Ostrowski. Big hole up the middle. Makes his way toward the right side, stiff arms a defender, and he goes down inside the 30 near the 27. Well, and that's such a tough penalty to take if you're Midview, because that's a monster play, big loss. Brucheri goes down after taking a big hit, and that's twice now on this drive after a sack that they've been dinged for a personal foul.
Certainly is, and it just kills any momentum that you're able to pick up with that.
A minute to play in the 2nd quarter, tied at 14 apiece. 2nd and short. It's a keeper by Brucheri. He'll get inside the 25, makes his way past the 20. It takes a few Middies to bring him down near the 10, although there's a flag back at about the 26-yard line. And Max, that's right around the area where he sprung loose.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, with those RPOs, there's such sudden changes of movement that it's tough for the offensive line to know which direction their own guy is going. It looked like that was a result right there of that kind of blocking scheme happening.
It is indeed a hold against Westlake. This will march the ball all the way back to the 38.
I am impressed, though, that the coaching staff, and obviously you have a very experienced quarterback here, but still choosing to run the ball with such little time left. It provides a lot of change of pace for that Midview defense.
45 seconds to go on the 2nd quarter clock, and Westlake doesn't appear to be in a big hurry here. They do have a couple of timeouts to work with. Play clock inside of 10. Brucheri drops back to pass. Facing some pressure, throws down the middle of the field. The pass is caught by Chase Kelly. He is stood up at the 32-yard line and pushed back, and we've got another flag back at the 46.
My goodness, the field is being littered with them on this likely final drive of the half.
Let's see what this is all about. And this is going to be another hold against Westlake. Now look, that wasn't a huge pickup, but on 2nd and long, they would have made that a 3rd and 5 situation. This holding penalty is going to bring this close to the midfield stripe. They're going to put that ball right around the 48.
That's right, and they don't get any of that time lost during the play back, and now they're working with under 30 seconds to go here in the back, very close to midfield once again.
Clock continuing to tick, and if you're Logan Yantek, you've got to wonder, do you really want to run another play here? Sure. I think you technically have to run one more.
And we know what Midview has in the back, and especially 22 right there. You see him patrolling Passarello. If he gets his hands on the ball, whether in a punt return or maybe on an interception, you know he's dangerous.
And I take that back. They did not have to run another play because there was just a second difference between the game clock and the play clock. So that will indeed take us to the end of this first half. It was an entertaining first half, to say the least, and it looked like both. Actually, hold on. Westlake called a timeout, they said. We thought it was halftime. There was no time left in the game clock. Now they said put 2 seconds back up on the game clock.
So maybe we'll get to see the full arm potential here of Brucheri before we get to halftime. I mean, it's been exciting as is. That would be the cherry on top. We'll see.
Well, a lot of people started down toward the concession stands. Everybody was ready for it to be halftime, and then all of a sudden the official said, nope, hold the phone. They called timeout on that far sideline with 3 seconds to play in the half. And you're right, here you would imagine we'll get to see the deep ball from Brucheri. We really haven't seen that much here tonight. He'll drop back. Midview rushing 4. He looks like he wants to run it. He'll do that, and he collides with a few Midi defenders at the 48-yard line. So he'll get tackled for a loss of about 2 on that play, and that will officially bring this first half to a close. So at the end of 2, Midview and Westlake tied at 14 apiece. And here in just a few moments, we will launch right into our Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance halftime show. Uninsured, enroll today with Health Markets Insurance in Amherst. Coming up during our halftime show, we will take a look at some scores around the area. We'll have Max Drummond take a look at some stats. We'll tell you how the points were scored so far in this game and much, much more. Again, your score at the half. It's Midview 14, Westlake 14 on the Lorain County Sports Network.
Welcome back into your Lorraine County Sports Network Game of the Week here on YouTube. As right now at halftime, we currently have Westlake and Midview tied up at 14 points apiece. And that was thanks to a pretty exciting first half there, as we had the likes of Jake Ostrowski being able to get a scoop and score deep into Midview territory. So it was a very short scamper for him, around 10 to 12 yards on the run back there, making it 7-0 early. And then Midview was able to respond with a Jim McMahon touchdown run from the 1 yard line. Marcus McMahon from the 1 yard line. And then, once again, Westlake able to bounce back thanks to a Sam Boucheri touchdown scamper of his own. And Midview also getting a touchdown from Michael Passarello Jr. on the offensive side, as he was able to run one in from around 6 yards out. And it was a real back and forth first half. A lot of penalties, as well as a few turnovers mixed in there as well. But as it stands at the moment, the Midview offense has done pretty much all of their damage on the ground, getting nearly 100 yards as a group collectively. And Shea Williams has thrown just one pass so far, so we'll see if that gets an uptick at all in the second half. And as for Westlake, as we expected coming in, their senior quarterback, Sam Boucheri, who's been the starter now, this will be his third season, has done a lot of the work, whether it is running or with his arm. As so far, we have clocked him for 10 of 12 passing and also 89 yards, majority of that workload going to his tight end, Chris Campbell, who has been outstanding in the short to intermediate passing game, as he's been able to rack up 7 catches for 40 yards. So those have been our big standouts so far, Bull, as that was a very exciting back and forth first half.
Yeah, very exciting back and forth. And I mean, look, it looked like that last drive was going to be very beneficial for Westlake. They capitalized on 2 big personal foul penalties, but then they shot themselves in the foot with 2 huge holding penalties. I'm sure Westlake's going into that locker room right now thinking, man, we should be up in this game. And on the other side of that, I mean, for the most part, this Midview defense has held their own against a very good quarterback. And by many accounts, many people look at that guy and say, that's a Division I quarterback. And the Middies are doing a real nice job of holding their own against him. They haven't taken many deep shots down the field. They've kind of been dinking and dunking their way down the field for the most part with a manageable running game. I think this Midview defense is playing with a lot more confidence.
They certainly are, and especially up front, as we've called the name of Sawyer McMillan a few times, who's cutting his teeth for the first time. You wouldn't, looking at how he's played, you wouldn't think this was his first night on varsity. That's for sure. No
doubt about that. I mean, it's a pretty good size sophomore too, 6 feet, 200 pounds, and we've called that name quite a bit. And as you mentioned, and we expect to call that name a lot as well throughout the rest of the night. You mentioned those stats just a few moments ago. Stats all night long, brought to you by Alan Januzzi CPA, because it's all about the numbers. And we'll talk a lot more about those numbers a little later on, but I think one of the numbers that stood out to me was Marcus McMahon. I think we talked about maybe calling the name Mike Passarello a lot in that running game, but one of the reasons why they haven't gone to him a ton, not that he hasn't gotten his fair share of carries in this game, but they've kind of gone with McMahon because he seems like he's been the hot hand, and also because Passarello's been such a huge weapon in that return game. That's one of the reasons why they're hanging around in this game too, because Passarello has helped to kind of change the field a little bit.
That's right. They've been able to even the odds in each phase of the game at different points. And you know, Coach Armstrong wants to see more consistency out of their offense, because if that does happen, with the way that their defense has been rallying to the ball and their special teams has been able to impact the game, I mean, that could really take it over the edge for them here in the second half.
All right, well, let's step aside and take another timeout here in the Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance, because coming up in a few moments, you and I have to stuff our faces with some hot dogs and do the Rate the Dog segment, one of my favorite segments of the entire season. Looking forward to doing that all year long. Rate the Dog coming your way here in just a moment, brought to you by Brian Victor of Howard Hanna. Brian says, enjoy the game. We'll enjoy the game and a dog in just a moment. Again, we're tied at the half. Fort Midview on the Lorraine County Sports Network. Welcome back out to Midview High School. Again, your score at the half, Midview 14, Westlake 14. So happy to have you with us tonight on the Lorain County Sports Network. Andy Bolbarch joined alongside Max Drummond. El Capitan, Edwin Vereen is our director, and we've got Sam Sovaco working the camera here tonight. And in between those breaks there, we were stuffing our faces with the hot dogs, courtesy of the fine folks here at Midview High School. Sam ran down there and made the jaunt down to the concession stand, and it's time now for Rate the Dog, brought to you by Brian Victor of Howard Hanna. Brian says, enjoy the game. Tell you what, you guys were talking here between the break, and I'm not used to the lingo just yet since I'm the new guy on the crew. You mentioned a 3-7. What does that mean? That 3-7 out of 5?
That's right. We go on the 5-point scale, and then courtesy of GT, the founder, I think, of this segment, you got to throw in a decimal of some kind. At least that's how he always likes to do it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I like the dog to bun ratio. The bun's nice and soft, too. I'm not sure if I want to go below a 4.0. Now, me and 4.0 never went together in school, but I feel like they could go together here very well.
Not for me either, so I don't.
This is a solid dog, man. Could be because I'm starving, too, but, like, it didn't need any condiments. That's how good it was.
Very true. Yeah, I think I'm right in that ballpark with you. I think I'm right at around a 3.9 or so for where I found the rating to be.
All right, so you're a 3.9. I'm a 4.0. I heard Sand say it's a possible 3.7. I thought I heard him say 3.7. Ed, when you say 3.7, 3.8, where are you going? 3.8. All right, so we're all in that 3.7 to 4.0 range here. That's a pretty general consensus. So a gigantic thumbs up and a big thanks to the fine folks here at Midview for allowing us to feast on the hot dogs here at halftime. And so far we've been entertained by a very, very interesting game, tied at 14 apiece, and a lot of swings and momentum. We'll come back to this game here in just a moment, but let's take a look at some of the other scores in and around Lorain County. Amherst leading Copley 7-6. Bishop Hartley up 21-7 on Elyria Catholic. At last check, Edison at a 21-16 edge on Firelands. Columbia and Independence at the very beginning of the Mike Rice era, deadlocked at 13. Black River having some trouble taking on Hillsdale, trailing 37-0. Keystone, a game that you can also hear on our YouTube channel on the Lorain County Sports Network. Dave Rivera has the call. Keystone having some fun at the expense of Northwestern, 41-7 Wildcats. Brush and Lorain tied at 13 apiece. Vermilion up 19-0 on Margaretta. Fun to see that program turn some things around. You and I will have a chance to do one of their games. I believe that's week 7 or week 8.
Certainly looking forward to that one.
Yeah, they've certainly made some big strides over the last couple of years. Mayfield leads Elyria 8-7. North Ridgeville, big things expected out of the Rangers this season. They're flexing some week 1 muscle, leading 27-0 over North Olmsted. A game you can catch on WDLW. Don Vincent with the call. Avon leads St. Ignatius 21-7 at Cleveland Brown Stadium. Solon 7, Olmsted falls 3. Avon Lake shutting out Strongsville to this point 14-0. Weston Reserve up 6-3 on Wellington. Again, that's a game you can hear on WOBL. GT's got the call for you on that one. And finally, Clearview up 16-0 on Fairview. Want to remind you to stay tuned to our post-game show. Dave Gronczynski will have all the details for you. He'll talk to some of the players. He'll talk to some of the coaches and even some of us, a new wrinkle to the post-game show this year as well. And it should be a lot of fun to tune into that. You know, from our perspective, I always love that. I have a chance to drive home and I have a chance to hear what went on at a stadium other than the one I was calling a game at. And I can't wait to hear old Grizzer on that post-game show. We invite you to stay tuned to that. That's going to be a lot of fun to catch up with some of the highlight creators in week 1 and the game-winning coaches too. So make sure you stay tuned to that. That'll be a blast, especially in that first week. I think we're all riding high right now. We've been waiting for this moment for so long, and you and I have been spoiled so far in this first half. Again, lots of shifts in momentum, Max, and we expect more of the same in the second half.
Yeah, but really looking forward to it. I mean, if these players, this halftime gives them a chance to kind of settle down for a moment after such all over the place second quarter, and it's definitely shaping up to be a great one in the second half.
Yeah, you also have to wonder too. I mean, I had asked this question to Coach Armstrong, during the pregame show. How are things different for you now as opposed to a year ago from now, right? When you were a first-year head coach, maybe those butterflies aren't there that were there a season ago. A lot of the same rules apply to the guy he's coaching against, and Logan Yantek. I mean, sure, he was the offensive coordinator the last couple of years, but this is his first go-around as the head coach, and he finds himself here deadlocked at 14 at the half.
I was going to say, it's a whole new dynamic. Obviously, he's familiar with the players, and the system doesn't change very much. But in those crucial situations now, everybody's looking towards him and what his decision is going to be. We saw a couple fourth downs early in the first half. They were aggressive there, so we'll see if he keeps that up, or maybe they go a little bit more conservatively here in the second half. That'll be interesting to see how he feels that out as the game goes on.
And early on, there was that very long sustained drive for Westlake where it looked like they were just destined to score, but then they fumbled a couple of times on that particular drive. Midview was able to jump on the second one, only to turn the ball right back over to Westlake on a 12-yard scoop and score, as you described it, from Jake Ostrowski. That was the first points of the game. And to the credit of this Midview defense, they have only allowed Westlake to get into the end zone once this entire game. And it's hard to sit here and decipher, who's the favorite going into this game, right? Because I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched. Even though Westlake had a better record last year and they won this game last year, Midview's a bit more experienced. And I think that's certainly something that could show in the second half, too.
Yeah, they're obviously introducing a new quarterback in their own right, but most of the spots around him are familiar, or they at least got a pretty substantial amount of playing time last year. And for Westlake, the guy slinging it, the guy that's leading, he's the one with all the experience, and he's kind of bringing everybody else around him up to speed. So that's been very interesting to see, and I'm sure it'll definitely play a role here, especially if we stay deadlocked like this and if we keep seeing them go back and forth at each other here in the second half.
And he's taken a couple of shots in this game tonight, too, and he's been a little slow to get up a couple of times. So Midview certainly made him pay when he's taken off. All right, let's work in one last timeout here in the Jeff Allison Health Markets halftime show. We'll come back in just a few moments to get you set for the second half of action. Again, we're tied at 14 between Midview and Westlake on the Lorain County Sports Network. Just about set to begin the second half of action here at Midview High School. Middies and Westlake deadlocked at 14 apiece. Andy Bullbarge, Max Drummond with you. We have Edwin Vereen running the show for us, and we've got Sam Sovakul running the camera. So it'll be the Midview Middies to receive the kickoff to begin the third quarter. Been a pretty physical game so far, Max, and I think that's probably something that Midview was hoping for, because we talk a lot about how up front, that's where a lot of these games were won. That's an area where it seemed like Westlake wasn't as experienced, but in that first drive, they had certainly held their own. That was a drive that went 14 plays, and then it stalled when they fumbled, but that offensive line has done a decent job of keeping Brucheri upright, and that's something to watch down the stretch here.
Yeah, and we've seen him make a few plays when he's had to, and shown a lot of toughness on a lot of different hits, and third and short, fourth and short, near the goal line with a chance to score. So we'll see how many more of those hits he can take throughout the night, and I can't imagine he'll slow down at any point here, especially when he'll probably have to try to match that Midview offense a few times more.
Getting set for the second half of action here Midview trotting onto the field again. They're going to receive this second half kickoff. Well, they looked like they were ready, and then they trotted back out onto their own sideline here. It looks like Westlake's ready to go. Want to remind you that the opening snap of this second half is brought to you by Janasco Insurance, the protection you need, the service you deserve. Speaking of Janasco Insurance, we were talking about that post-game show before with Dave Gronczynski. We've got Maria Janasco reading you off the score. She's a big part of that post-game show as well, so make sure you tune into that and catch up on what went down with all the Lorain County High School football teams.
But there's certainly, it's tough to keep track of, and even if you are trying to keep up on Lorain County Friday Night Lights on Facebook, sometimes you can get lost in how many comments and updates there are, so that is definitely the most easy way to do so.
Speaking of Lorain County Friday Night Lights on Facebook, they're providing live updates for us. They're handling that Brush Lorain game that was deadlocked at 13 apiece at last check. Coach Rich Flowers does a real nice job with that group. It's a great place to go to catch up on scores.
Mm-hmm. And just seeing the growth of that community as a whole. I mean, there are over 8,000 members now, and it's very strong. Many people here in the county buying in with that.
Evil Sizer tees it up, runs forward, squib kick. Runs down the numbers, right side. It'll be picked up right about the 25-yard line and escorted out of bounds on the near side for the Midview Middies is Sawyer McMillan. A name we've called defensively a lot, but the sophomore did a really good job of holding his own there, fielding that squib kick and giving Midview decent field position.
That's right. He wasn't nervous or shaken to pick it up himself, and we saw them go 91 yards on their last offensive drive of the first half, and now just have to go a measly 65. So
right, that's it. Nothing to it. And that was a 4-play drive too. And Marcus McMahon had a huge run for them, setting them up inside the red zone. A couple plays later, Passarella was able to punch it in. Midi offense will set up shop at their own 35. Shea Williams with 2 men in the backfield. Passarella in motion to the left. Williams keeps it up the middle, has some room past the 40, and he's able to bring a Westlake defender with him up to about the 43. That's an 8-yard gain.
Impressive pickup there, and awkward ending to the tackle. Good to see him pop right up after that, but great first play there of the second half, and certainly got to keep him involved and keep him a threat that Westlake has to look out for.
They've not put the ball in the air very much here tonight, and they really haven't needed to. The running game's been very effective. Williams will take the snap, and they'll give this one to Passarello. He's able to take it up to about the 50-yard line. Check that. That was Cameron West on the carry. Took it up to the 50. 7-yard gain on second down to move the chains.
And being able to move the ball effectively with all these different players, it's got to have that Westlake defense head spinning a bit, because they never know which one's going to end up with the ball and who they're going to end up getting popped as a lead blocker.
And again, the complexity of the running game, the balance in that rushing attack is something Coach Armstrong really liked. There's just a lot deeper in that regard. Passarella with the carry, now spins out of a tackle, gets to the 45-yard line, steps out of another, and dragged down from behind to the 44. Another Midview first down. Owen Wilburn was able to drag Passarella down from behind, but not before they move the chains again.
I mean, my goodness, what an impressive spin move at the line of scrimmage. Turned a 2-yard gain into easily a 15-yarder.
It's Passarella and West both in the backfield, along with the quarterback Williams. They'll send Passarella in motion one more time. Williams keeps it, takes it up the middle. He gets past the 30, tries to step out of a tackle before going down near the 28. Another big chunk, 7 yards in that first down rush.
I think Shea Williams brings a different dynamic than any of the other runners there. He's real patient with it, and he's so agile and shifty that as soon as he sees a crease after giving it a moment to develop, he's really effective after that, hitting that second level.
Marked him down at the 29. Williams will drop back, looking down the field, throws left side, looking for Dior Jones, but the pass falls incomplete. And we have a flag at the very end of the play. They're going to get Chase Kelly, either for a defensive hold or perhaps pass interference. And Kelly's maybe a bit overmatched there as far as the size goes. 5'9", $150, going up the 6', 190-pound Dior Jones.
And Jones, we haven't really seen him down the field as a threat yet, but we know he certainly is. And right there just caught Kelly off guard, I think, expecting probably another run.
They're going to march the yardage off here. This will put the ball down right around the 14-yard line after that pass interference penalty, so that will bring them back inside the red zone. Brought to you by Steve Lawson of Russell State Real Estate Services. Shea Williams calling for the snap again. This time they give it left side to West. Spins out of a tackle, breaks another at the 5, and makes his way across the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown, Middies. A 14-yard dash to pay dirt for Cameron West, and the Middies have a 20-14 lead over Westlake with 9:44 to go in the third quarter.
Well, you got to imagine they probably scripted that first drive, almost copying what they did to end the first half. And I mean, Westlake had no answer there, as that Midview offensive line, as you've alluded to, is now wearing down that Demons defensive line.
You can hear those whistles blowing. I'm not exactly sure what that's all about, but there's something the officials don't like near the line of scrimmage. Again, not sure what they don't like about that, but the officials immediately ran up toward the ball. And the head referee is down there in the middle of that, Chuck Caskey. He runs out of that pile, giving us no indication as to what held this thing up. So Ethan Morse will try and split the uprights again. 2 for 2 in his extra point attempts. Number 3 is on the way and good. 21-14. The Midview Middies on top of the Westlake Demons with 9:44 to go in the third quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. After a 14-yard touchdown run for Cam West, the Middies find themselves in the driver's seat on top of Westlake 21-14 with just inside of 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. A 6-play, 65-yard drive. So once again, Midview is able to go right down the field on the strength of their very, very successful rushing attack, which has paced their offense all night long. And now they have the lead for the first time tonight. And that could be a really dangerous weapon. You know, the fact that you can run the ball not only with your quarterback, you got a couple of tailbacks to go along with a receiver in Cam West. So many guys that can do some damage toting the rock for Midview. Ethan Morris's kick, a high end over end kick, and this will be retrieved by Ryda in the end zone for a touchback. So we'll see Westlake's offense for the first time in the second half. Sam Brucheri and company had a good-looking drive going, but it kind of stalled because of a couple of holding penalties at the very end of that first half. They'll take over here at their own 20-yard line.
It was interesting. You would think their offense would have been handcuffed at the end of the first half with time running low, but they were still comfortable running the ball, so wonder if we'll see them go right back to that or hit more of those intermediate pass plays that we saw them be so successful at there in the second quarter.
A lot of times he's run by himself in the backfield, but on occasion they'll put Jake Ostrowski in there. Ostrowski is behind him in the backfield right now. They've called the number of the tight end, Chris Campbell, a lot here tonight. Play action fake, pass goes across the middle, incomplete. Mike Passarello got his paws on it near the 32-yard line to tap it to the turf. And they were looking down the field for Will Bierfeld, but the incompletion sets up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, so they come out firing right there to one of their outside receivers. We haven't seen them do that too often. And right there, I think Brucheri, he might have just stared down his target a little too early, and Passarello, playing a lot last season, too smart to let that one get by.
2nd and 10. Brucheri looking left, facing pressure. He gets popped. Ball's on the turf. Dior Jones got to him near the 12-yard line. And for the time being, it looks like the Westlake Demons jumped on that loose ball. Dior Jones coming off the edge again. He nailed Brucheri. The result of the play is a loss of 6, so it's 3rd down and 16.
He's been a real change of pace up there for those tackles for Westlake, and so far have not found a way to respond to him yet, and looks like they'll leave him in here for 3rd and long. You know he's going to be pinning his ears back on this one.
3rd and 16 from their own 14-yard line. They'll send Ostrowski in motion to the right. Back to pass. Brucheri setting up a screen. He finds Chase Kelly. Kelly gets up to the 15. He's to the 20. He gets dropped at the 21-yard line. A flag came in at the very end of the play on the far side of the field. Laundry laying at the 12-yard line. Let's see what this is all about. As it stands right now, they're 8 yards short.
Right there, they did a good job of taking advantage of the aggressiveness of that side of the Midview defensive line.
They've waved off the flag, so they've picked it up. And we have another Demon slow to get up around the 22-yard line. We mentioned just how physical this game has been. I mean, look, Max, when this game is over, we're going to have a really, really tough time picking out our Ernie's Auto Body collision of the game because there have been a lot of options for us to choose from.
That's right, and guys from both teams have been trying to make themselves candidates for that, so he said it will be a tough go of trying to figure that one out.
Chase Kelly is the injured Westlake Demon, but he's okay. Walks off to that far sideline under his own power. Brucheri, back of the shotgun. Passarello dropping back. Dior Jones almost got his paws on that one. Looked like that might have been partially deflected. This is taking a big bounce, though, as it goes all the way up to about the Midview 48. Boy, Dior Jones has been all over the place here tonight.
Certainly has, and we haven't seen them go up top to him outside of last drive for a big play in the passing game, but finding his way to make an impact here on defense and right there on special teams got very close. I think that may have been the first time we've seen him out there for a 4th down, and I think they'll go back to him in those situations here on out.
Oh, now if you're Westlake, I wouldn't say the game's hanging in the balance here, but if you don't find a way to corral this Midview rushing attack, you're working with a short field here. Things are getting awfully interesting for Midview because they seem to have found something in their running game that Westlake just hasn't been able to find an answer for.
They definitely have, and now all of a sudden we're almost halfway through the 3rd quarter here, and running the ball here will only make that worse for Westlake, so we'll see if they can step up starting in their own territory.
Shea Williams working out of the shotgun, a tailback on each side of him in this formation. It's a bad snap again. He has to pick it up at the 40-yard line, runs up that far sideline, shoved out of bounds near the 49, and another flag. This one thrown by our head referee. He was about 10 yards away from that. And this one's going on Midview. So it's a hold against the Middies. And that just looked like a broken play from the get-go. That's not the first time we've seen that tonight, Max.
No, and on the previous one, Shea Williams simply had to jump on it right there, tries to make a play, but at that point, Westlake's defenders got up the field so quick that his blockers had a hard time adjusting, trying to help him out.
And they were, in all likelihood, going to lose something on that play because, again, it didn't look like Shea Williams was expecting the snap. And then the holding call on top of everything else. So now they've got a long ways to go here on 1st down. Williams grabs the snap. They give to Marcus McMahon. He is tackled immediately. Nowhere for him to go. And he ran right into the open arms of Owen Wilburn. Wilburn greeted him right around the 42-yard line. No gain on that play.
Did a great job filling his gap responsibility there. And now, even though it's still just 2nd down, you got to think Midview might have to start looking into that passing game here and kind of break in Shea Williams' arm here early in their mid-3rd quarter.
2nd and long. Williams will drop back to pass. Looks down the field, fires down the field for Dior Jones. Jones reaches up and makes the catch at the 15. Then he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Middies. It's a 52-yard touchdown strike. Shea Williams finds Dior Jones, but there's laundry on the field at the 21-yard line. This one's coming back. Oh, what a grab by Dior Jones. Caught it at the 15 and then made his way into the end zone, but this one coming back.
I can't believe it. So it looks like maybe Jones are going to say pushed off or used the defender's body to go up for it. It's a bang-bang play right there. And wow, into double coverage as well. What a grab either way.
This has happened to both teams tonight. Well, anytime it looks like they're going to pick up some big momentum, there's a penalty that's negated it. They saw that twice to Westlake on that last drive of the first half, and here it takes a touchdown away.
And now, I mean, second and at least a mile here, half a Grafton to go to get towards that first down marker. My goodness.
They've got to get to the Westlake 38-yard line. They're going to run this play from their own 27. Direct snap to the quarterback, Williams. Gets to the 30-yard line, steps out of it, tackles, got some room. He gets popped at the end of the play by Jake Ostrowski near the 39, so it's a good rush of about 11, maybe 12 yards, but there's still a long ways to go.
That's right, and now we'll see in his first start here in varsity, we'll see how he reacts and if he tries to force something downfield or if he is able to set them up, just play field position here. We'll see. We'll see how he responds to playing with the lead.
Inside of 7 minutes to go on this third quarter clock. Midview leads Westlake 21-14. And now we have a different signal caller in the game. It'll be Cody Martin, 6'4", 205-pound senior quarterback. Now we've got whistles. We've got a timeout called by Midview. We'll take a timeout as well. Again, Midview leading Westlake 21-14. 6:42 to go third quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Coming out of the timeout, Midview Middies looking at a third and forever situation to go here. It is officially third down and 22 at their own 40-yard line. Well, they took that timeout because it looked like there was an equipment issue for the quarterback, Shea Williams. He was out of the game, then they called for that timeout, now he's back in. Williams has time to throw, but now he's facing some pressure. He's going to step up and run, and he will go down near the 43-yard line. And now there's another flag. Well, it seems like there's been a flag thrown every other play in this game. That came just as the play ended.
Yeah, it's very late.
And that's a personal foul against Westlake. That's a monster penalty. Well, that play ended at the 43-yard line. And we talked just before that snap about how they've got a long ways to go to keep this drive alive. But this is going to put the ball at the 41 of Westlake.
Wow, so we've seen each defense now, whether at the end of first half with Midview or right here with Westlake, and that looked like you said, very late into the play, possibly after the play. So these avoidable penalties, we'll see if it comes back to bite the Demons here.
Well, now you're at a spot in the field where you can go for it and feel good about it. It's a 4th and 3 situation here, and even though they've been moving backwards for a lot of this, if they're not being penalized, they're picking up pretty big chunks of yardage. So it's 4th down and 3 at the Westlake 41. Shea Williams will grab the snap. They'll give this one straight at the middle to Cameron West. He's got room to run past the 25. Steps out of a tackle inside the 15, and he's finally tackled at the 13-yard line. First down Middies on 4th and 3. They were able to march 25 yards down the field, and they're inside the red zone.
I mean, just incredible burst from the senior West right there. And now you got to feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, it's been a roller coaster of emotions on this drive for the Midview Middies fans.
I mean, at one point, they ran a play from their own 27-yard line, and somehow they picked up a first down. Passarello runs in motion near side to the left. Williams, back to pass, looks, fires, back of the end zone. Passarello makes the catch for the touchdown. It's a 14-yard touchdown pass. Shea Williams finds Mike Passarello on a 14-yard touchdown strike. And the Middies now up a couple of scores, leading 27-14 with 5:39 to go on the third.
And a great adjustment in the air there by Passarello. I mean, not only can he run the ball, not only is he great on defensive returning, but just as a receiver there, going up and making that play he did, that's an impressive catch.
Ethan Morris will come on for the extra point. Low snap, they're able to get it down. Extra point has plenty of distance, and it is good. 28-14. Midview on top of Westlake with just inside of 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. After a 14-yard touchdown pass from Shea Williams to Mike Passarello, the Midview Middies have their largest lead of the night, now doubling up the Westlake Demons 28-14. Glad to have you with us on our Game of the Week on the Lorain County Sports Network on YouTube. Andy Bulbarch, Max Drummond on the call. Edwin Vereen is our director, and Sam Sovakul is running the cameras here tonight. Ethan Morris will tee it up and run right forward. He'll put his right foot into it. High kick, end over end kick. And this will be retrieved right around the 1 yard line. Charbel Ryder takes it past the 15. He collides with a pair of Middies. Boy, a monster collision. One of the first guys in on that stop was Ashton Johnson. And we have another flag on the play.
Johnson, one of the Middies' starting offensive linemen, so very impressive seeing him out there on the kickoff team. Wow.
Big fella saw an opportunity to get a tackle, and a personal foul. It's a face mask against Midview. And that drive would have started for Westlake at the 16-yard line, but this will push the ball all the way past the 30 to about the 31.
Now we'll get a chance to see Sam Brucheri again and see what kind of looks they give and how much urgency they play with here, as we're just over 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Jake Ostrowski is behind Brucheri, who sits in the shotgun. 3 receivers at his disposal. Claps his hands together, will take the snap. They give to Ostrowski. Tries to stretch this play to the near side. He does, past the 35. And Max Cachero, amongst many others, there to greet him before taking him to the turf near the 39. So that's an 8-yard pickup. And Ostrowski is a little bit slow to get up. However, he's able to get back to his feet and having a hard time staying on his feet. As a matter of fact, he needs a couple of teammates to help him stay on his feet. He's grabbing down to his left calf, and he's going to need some help getting to that far sideline.
And on that one, just like you mentioned, a big collision. Ostrowski's been on the receiving end of a few of those with some tough runs and going for extra yards there. And been able to bounce back a few times. We'll see how long this keeps him sidelined.
Well, without Ostrowski, they've called the number of Antonio Colon, and Antonio Colon checks back into the game. They used him for a drive earlier tonight. 2nd and 2 situation for Westlake. Brasheary will have his troops at the line, a 3-receiver look here. Tight end Campbell on the left side. He'll take the snap, and it'll be a keeper. Brasheary able to punch his way up to about the 40, got close to the 41. And the officials kind of looking at each other to see where he went down exactly. And, geez, Max, where they are right now, looks like he might be a little short.
He's right on the edge of that 41-yard line, and it looks like it will result in a 3rd and short here for the Demons offense.
Right you are, as the nose of the ball is resting just outside that 41-yard line. So it's 3rd down and inches. Campbell, the tight end, lined up on the left side again. Antonio Colon, the tailback. Brasheary takes the snap. He'll keep it. And he gets corralled back at the 35-yard line, breaks a couple of tackles before being stopped at the 40. Another flag, though. This one at the 33. And it's a face mask against Midview. So that will give the Demons a 1st down.
Yeah, so the shifty moves there leading to the face mask is we've had to see Sam Brasheary do that a lot tonight, evading that rush from the front 7 there of the Middies.
So the ball would be placed at the 45 of Westlake after the face mask penalty. So it'll be 1st and 10 once again for the Demons. And they haven't done much as far as shifting the personnel. The same 11 for the most part had been on the field for most of this drive. Back to pass, Brasheary looking down the field, fires for Bierfeld. Bierfeld almost had the ball in stride, but the ball hit off his fingertips. It falls incomplete at the 21.
Yeah, great placement on that pass there by Brasheary, giving him a lead over the corner in the vicinity, as it looks like that's going to be the 17 of Camden Scott maybe over there. As Midview, they like their aggressiveness in the box. Those corners, they'll leave them on islands from time to time and have them in press coverage, and right there could have burned them.
Dior Jones has checked back into the game. He's provided some explosiveness off the edge for this Middies defense. 2nd and 10 for Westlake from their own 45. Back to pass. Brasheary throws down the far sideline, incomplete. A bit too much under that. He was looking for Chase Kelly. Marcus McMahon was with him, stride for stride down that far sideline, and it's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, great job there at the line of scrimmage, kind of delaying that, and then you see Brasheary looked like he was off his back foot, as he hasn't had a lot of time to set his feet and make the throws. And for Kelly, we saw him get 6 catches up to this point, but he hasn't been as much of a factor lately.
3rd and 10 here. Westlake down 28-14 to Midview here in the 3rd quarter. Brasheary looking down the field, fires the pass, is incomplete. He was looking in the direction of his tight end Campbell, but he threw that way above him, and he also threw it way behind him.
And the crossing patterns there looked like they had one underneath and one at around the 1st down marker where Campbell was, and just didn't get his head around in time.
Well, the drive's not over yet. We've seen way too many penalties in this game to say that, but
You got a point.
I mean, right now, you're looking at 4th down and 10 here. And the officials saying something to this Midview sideline. Not exactly sure what the deal down there is, but it is still 4th down and 10. And Brasheary more than likely going to let a punt loose here. Passarello started inching his way back, and they'll get this punt away. This is a wobbler that'll bounce inside the 20. It goes inside the 5, and that'll die right around the 3. What a punt by Brasheary. Wow. That is an excellent punt. Wait for the official spot, but again, that looked like from our perspective it went out near the 3. But here again, when Midview's been pinned deep inside their own territory, they've come out firing on all cylinders with that running game.
That's right. They've capitalized, and they've done so in a very physical way. That's what stood out to me. It's just how reliable this is. You got 3 or 4 options and fresh legs almost each time that one of them touches the ball.
3:46 to go in this third quarter. And this is a quarter that has belonged to the Midview Middies. They received the opening kickoff. They marched right down the field and scored on a 14-yard touchdown rush from Cameron West. Forced a 3 and out. And then Mike Passarello was on the receiving end of a 14-yard touchdown strike from Shea Williams to give them their current 28-14 lead. Start this drive at their own 5-yard line. Well, they went 91 yards for a score on one of their previous drives. First drive of the half was a 65-yard drive, and they got there on just 6 plays.
That's right, and both of those right now have to be contenders for our Valley Chevrolet drive of the game. Keep on driving with Valley Chevrolet in Wellington, especially that 91-yarder you alluded to.
And because of the time of the game where that occurred. I mean, because it looked like at that point this thing was sort of hanging in the balance, but Midview was able to get their running game going. Now we've got another delay here. I don't know what this is all about. Resetting the play clock. Now we'll get going as Shea Williams will send Passarello in motion to the left. Takes the snap, he'll run it himself. Williams stretches to the far side. He's able to get past the 10-yard line in open space. He's tackled from behind near the 17. A 12-yard pickup for Williams and a Midview first out.
And those draws, even though they really haven't unleashed the passing game much at all, they've been effective at pausing that second level, those linebackers. And with his speed, you can't afford to hesitate.
So it'll be first down and 10 after that 12-yard gain for Shea Williams. Waiting on the snap, he gets it. He'll hand it off to McMahon. Had a little room to run on the left side before he was stood up, and now he faces a host of white jerseys dropped near the 16, or I should say the 16-yard line. And that's going to be a loss of about 1. That time a swarm of Demons able to get to him quickly. It looked like he had a little something on the left side initially, but that hole closed very quickly.
That's right. I believe it was the 35. Antonio Colon did a great job of closing towards the sideline and cutting off the open hole that was there.
Second and long. Shea Williams works out of the shotgun again. They'll give to McMahon again. Spins out of a tackle up the middle past the 25. He's dragged down along the hash at the 29-yard line. And a flag has been thrown yet again. This one laying at the 18-yard line. This is a face mask going against Westlake. So the sticks will move one more time for the Middies as a result of a positive run and a penalty.
And with the consistency that this offense has been moving with, you almost got to wonder if there's going to be a change up in how many defenders are in the box or how many extra blitzers they bring from maybe a corner spot. They got to do something to impact this Midview offense, because right now they're moving the ball at will.
Yeah, this running game is just suddenly hit their stride here in this third quarter. Shea Williams on the give to Passarello. Turns the corner right side, tripped up, and he went down at the 45, and then a flag came in again at the very end of the play. Well, he just couldn't quite turn the corner there, and the flag has been picked up. The end result, about a 2-yard scamper on first down. And you're still got about 2 minutes left here in this third quarter, but if you can't control this running game, that becomes a major concern for Westlake, because time is slowly yet surely becoming a factor.
Certainly is here for the Demons.
Direct snap to the quarterback, Williams. Makes a big cut, gets past the 50. He's to the 45 of Westlake. Stiff arms the defender. He's to the 40, inside the 30, and he drags a Demon with him inside the 25 to the 24 for a first down. Antonio Colon finally brought him down, but not before about a 30-yard gain for Shea Williams.
Just a great move in the hole there, as we've seen a lot of shiftiness and juking ability from Williams so far, but also a big shout out down the field to Camden Scott, setting the edge at that receiver spot, being able to block and springing for at least another 10 yards there at the end of that run.
Versatility. One of the underrated characteristics that Coach Armstrong mentioned when discussing that receiver group. Pass goes right side, caught by Cross Worthy. Worthy is hit and he's stumbled forward to about the 23. Not much doing there, picked up maybe a yard on that.
And a good tackle that time, as we do see Ostrowski back out there, so he continues to keep fighting to stay in this game for Westlake.
Second down and 9, 1:11 to play, third quarter, as Midview just continues to march the ball right down the field. Cameron West, the only tailback of the formation. Dior Jones in motion. Back to pass. Williams throws across the middle. The pass falls incomplete. He was looking for Cross-Worthy, but he couldn't quite hang on to that one.
Good location on that pass there by Shea, and that's another interesting part about the closeout of this game. Obviously, running the ball is the main focus, but also seeing more of what you have here with Shea Williams, and he's shown the ability to throw the ball tonight, and I'm sure they want to keep getting him work to do that, and he'll have another chance here on 3rd and long.
Yeah, and you'd like to think that because Dior Jones has drawn as much attention as he has, some of these other guys are going to find themselves in one-on-one coverage.
Very true.
Shea Williams grabs the snap, tries to push forward, but he is stopped at the 24-yard line. The Westlake defense holds up strong on 3rd down. Jake Ostrowski, one of the first ones on that stop. And we see a bit of a shift in personnel here. 4th down coming up for the Middies. Well, they attempted a 45-yarder earlier tonight with Ethan Morris. It was a line drive kick that ended up wide to the right. This will be a 42-yard field goal attempt from the right hash for Morris. They'll send the snap back. Hold is down. Kick is on the way. Plenty of distance, and it is good. A 42-yard field goal. Ethan Morris splits the uprights, and he had some room to spare there as well. That'll make it 31-14 Midview with 8 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. After a 42-yard field goal from Ethan Morris, the Midview Middies now have a 31-14 lead on Westlake with 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Glad to have you dialed in tonight. Week 1 of the high school football season on the Lorain County Sports Network. This game was tied at 14 at the half, but it has been all Middies here in the 3rd quarter. They've outscored Westlake 17-0 here in the 3rd.
And they've done so in a very clean way, too, very efficient in that offense. I mean, it's certainly the halftime adjustments have paid off. Whatever it is that they talked about or made clear, they've been doing exactly that. I'm sure Coach Jack Armstrong has been very pleased.
Morris ready to kick this one away. A high end over end kick. Charbel Ryder will take it 1 yard deep in the end zone. Touchback is the call. And we'll see this Westlake offense again, but look, 3 points came out of a drive for the Middies where they started at their own 5-yard line. That's twice now tonight, Max. They've started inside their own 10 and come away with points.
Yeah, and it's been certainly effective. And sometimes we've seen tonight the short field being what has paid off or been the making the difference. But multiple times now, Midview has shown that they can do both, and it's if they do go on to come out with the win, it will certainly be those drives that we look back on that were the difference.
Well, the previous 2 drives in this third quarter for Westlake has resulted in punts. One was a 3-and-out, and that following drive, they tried to capitalize on a penalty which extended the drive, but just couldn't get anything to come of it. They'll hand it off to Ostrowski. Ostrowski nowhere to go, stood up at the 21-yard line, and who's there again to make that play? Sophomore Sawyer McMillan. And that should take us to the end of the third quarter, and indeed it will. Midview 31, Westlake 14 at the end of 3 on the Lorain County Sports Network. First play of this fourth quarter for the Westlake Demons will be a pretty big one. Second down and 9, they're down 31-14 as we get set to begin the fourth here at Midview High School. Sam Brucheri will take the shotgun snap, looking down the field, fires to his right. Has a bit too much air under that one as it falls incomplete, sailing into that far sideline, looking for Chase Kelly. And 3rd and 9 upcoming for Westlake.
And on the right side of the field there, a few Demons occupying that similar space around that first down marker. So we'll see if they try to set up a combo route like that again, or maybe spread out the field a little bit further here on this 3rd and long.
3rd and long for Westlake. Got about 9 yards to go here. Brucheri drops back, throws this one down the far sideline, looking for Kelly, but again, too much on that pass. It's incomplete again.
And that's now 5 straight incompletions for Sam Brucheri, as he was off to such a hot start there in the first couple quarters, and now he hasn't been able to find that same connection with his receivers.
You're right. That's a good point, because he seemed to really establish a rhythm early in the game. We talked about how they didn't take many deep shots down the field, but they were able to kind of dink and dunk their way down the field. But again, he got himself into a rhythm, and now that rhythm has been totally disrupted. Brucheri will punt this one away. High kick. Passarello drifting to his left, makes the catch at the 44-yard line, able to get his way up to about the 50-yard line. 6-yard return on that for Passarello, and that's something Westlake will certainly take, given how Passarello's flipped the field twice already in special teams.
You read my mind. Even though it starts in midfield and it's not ideal for your defense, it's a whole lot better than it has been, that is for sure.
Well, they were able to punt that last one away. You got to think, the next time they're in that situation, they may not have that luxury.
That's right. No matter what portion of the field they may be in, their backs are against the wall right now, and we're almost under 10 minutes to go here in this final quarter.
It's a 3-score game, and with 11:40 to play, the way Midview has run the ball here tonight, that's a really, really tough deficit, I think, for Westlake to overcome. At this point, you get the impression it's going to take something a little bit more than what they've gotten, almost like they might need a turnover.
Most definitely, yes.
Well, they stack the box here again. They'll send Passarello in motion to left. Williams dropping back to pass, facing some pressure now, throws this one down the middle. The pass falls incomplete. He was looking for Zach Wallace. We had a collision in the backfield, 2 flags, one at the 43, the other at the 47. That's a personal foul, and that's going against Midview. I'm sorry, it's a hold against Midview.
And it's unfortunate for Williams there that he had pressure early to get away from, because Wallace, who he ended up throwing to, was wide open at the beginning of coming out of his break of his slant, and it would have been easy first down. Not too many Westlake defenders there, but now we see them behind the chains once again. We'll see how they respond this time.
We go back to that drive a few moments ago where they had the ball thrown 27 of the drive that began in Westlake territory. Somehow overcame that and scored. Direct snap to Williams. He'll take it past the 40-yard line, dances his way past the defender before going down near the 46, so he's able to get about 6 yards. So it's still second and long here, but, you know, Max, at this point, the yardage is always nice, but you can take some valuable seconds off the clock here.
Certainly can, and that's got to be an important part of this drive, and not only from the coaches, but Shea Williams implementing that here as well.
11 minutes to play in this final quarter. Shea Williams drops back, throws right, caught by, no, Wallace had it and lost it. Wallace had a screen set up, and it looked like they had the blocks set up for him as well, but Wallace not able to hang on to that. And that'll stop the clock. We also have an injury timeout coming up, as well as there is an injured Middie laying down around the 45-yard line. We'll take this timeout as well. 31-14, Midview leading Westlake with 10:55 to play in the fourth quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Maxwell Scott, the injured young man, is up and walking off to the near sideline. Looks to be okay for the time being, but coming out of that injury timeout is now 3rd down and long for Midview. Back to pass. Williams throws. Caught by Passarello on a screen. He gets to the 50-yard line, breaks a tackle. He's to the Westlake 40 where he steps out of bounds, awfully close to a first down. He was run out by Chris Campbell. Well, Max, the initial spot leads us to believe he's going to be a little bit short. I think he stepped out at the 41.
Yeah, he came right up on that spot, forced out there by the Westlake defense. We've seen this Midview offense be aggressive here, throwing the ball, so I certainly imagine they may be aggressive and go for it here on this 4th and short, now in Westlake's territory.
Shea Williams with a nice pass on that screen. 4th down and short. Williams grabs the snap. They're going to give to Passarello. He's stopped at the 41-yard line. It's Campbell again who drops him at the 41. And Chris Campbell, a name we thought we'd call throughout the night, with 2 really big tackles at the end of this drive.
That's right, what a hit. Now gets the ball back into the hands of the Westlake offense, where we certainly may see them pull out all the stops here with just over 10.5 to go in the final quarter of play.
Well, and here's why that's huge. Couple different reasons. Number one, obviously you get the ball back. Only a minute came off the clock there. So that's a really big stand by this Westlake defense, which has certainly struggled throughout most of the second half, but they answered the bell there. They'll start this drive at their own 41-yard line. But I think we've come to that point in the game where punting is probably no longer an option.
Right, and even though it's Brucheri back there, we likely know he's going to use his arm instead of his feet if it does come down to 4th down.
He's by himself in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right. He's got a pair lined up near side left, including the tight end Campbell. Back to pass Brucheri. Looking right, throwing right. Pass is hauled in near the 45-yard line. Charbel Rida picks up just about 4 on that. Not much, but it's a little something.
Right, now we see them kind of return to what they had success with earlier on with some of these shorter passes, and we'll see maybe they can use it to set up a longer pass here throughout this drive.
You don't really sense much urgency from this offense, though, based on the body language. Burschieri will drop back again. Pressure coming. Throws this one. Left side looking for Ryda again. Can't quite make the catch of the 20. It falls incomplete. That wasn't a bad-looking ball from Burschieri.
They've had a few of those now where they're going to look back and film tomorrow morning, and a couple of these plays, if they are able to haul them in or at least get in the range of a pass interference, maybe it completely would have changed this ball game, but can't look back on that at the moment as they'll have to try to set up here on third down and medium.
And look, you can dink and dunk your way down the field like they did earlier. I don't know if they had that luxury now. Less than 10 minutes to play. You have to start taking some shots like that a little bit more often. Ostrowski in the backfield along with Burschieri. He'll drop back to pass again, being pressured. Rolls out near side of the left, looking down the field. He'll stick with it and try and run. He goes out of bounds near the 46. Well, he didn't get a lot, but he did pick up a couple, and now it's fourth down and about 4.
And right there, getting out of bounds is another small positive to take away from that, and now it gives them a chance to go for it here on fourth down.
With 9:50 to play, this is a really big fourth down situation. Because if you don't get it here, you're going to turn the ball over to Midview. They'll get the ball on the Westlake side of the field. This is a monster fourth down situation. Burschieri drops back, looking left, throws left, incomplete. He was looking for Antonio Colon. He was open, but the pressure forced him to get rid of that ball a little too soon.
And it's a tough break for the Demons there, and Burschieri knows that maybe if he could have done it again, he would have gotten the ball out to him a little quicker, but then again, Cologne wasn't as far upfield yet, and it would have given Midview a chance to close out on him before getting to that 47-yard line needed to convert the fourth down.
Yeah, and look, he had Cologne. Cologne was open there along the sideline. They would have had the first down and then some. But as we've mentioned throughout the night, whether they're adding pressure or the front four applying that pressure, they've been in the face of Burschieri most of the night. They forced him to make a bit of a mistake there on a big, big play.
They've certainly been able to affect him here this evening.
Ball at the 47 for Midview, up 31-14. Shea Williams wants the snap. He gets it to Marcus McMahon. McMahon tries the middle, nothing there. The middle of that Westlake defensive line able to hold up at the point of attack. Tamer Abedrado, the nose tackle, just would not allow him to push that pile forward.
And McMahon probably has some fresh legs now here in this fourth quarter, as we did see a bit of Shea Williams, Cam Weston, Passarello on that third quarter, so we'll see if he can help them close out this game.
Shea Williams takes the step. He'll run it himself. Tries the right side, twisted down by Jake Ostrowski back at the 47. A nice open field tackle by Jake Ostrowski, and that sets up third down and long.
And we saw the Middies kind of try to go after that Westlake secondary last drive. We'll see if they go to the air here or if they err on the side of caution and just try to keep the clock moving.
But you're beginning to see more and more in this second half why Shea Williams won that quarterback competition. That was a big story heading into camp for the Middies. He's handled his business very, very well here tonight. He'll grab the snap. They give to McMahon. Up the middle he goes. Had a little room initially, then Campbell closed out at about the 42 to bring him down. Fourth down coming up for Midview. So 4th and 5. 8:15 to go on this fourth quarter clock, so they haven't taken a ton of time off of it yet. This Midview offense will stay on the field. Pooch punt certainly possible here on 4th and 5. And Midview try to draw them off sides, but all 4 receivers marched forward in that formation, and that's going to cost the Middies 5 yards. And that may remove any doubt here as to what they're going to do.
Very true.
I don't think I've ever seen that before where 4 receivers go forward and nobody else does.
I was going to say, the linemen, they were anchored down to their spots, that's for sure.
And here we have a gigantic shift in personnel. Well, Camden Scott handles the punting duties, and ironically, we haven't seen a whole lot of him here tonight.
Oh, he's had a light workload there in this phase of the game.
We've seen him a lot, just haven't seen him punt here tonight a whole lot. High snap, he has to bring it down, but wait, we've got a whistle, and now what? Timeout was called by Midview. We'll go ahead and we'll take a timeout here as well. Again, 31-14, Midview on top of Westlake here in the fourth quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. (31-14), Midview leading Westlake, 7:23 left on this fourth quarter clock. And the Middies are set to pump this away coming out of that timeout. Snap will go back. Scott will get this kick away. Camden Scott with a pretty nice punt. This will bounce at the 15-yard line, goes inside the 10. It'll be down near the 9-yard line. A real nice punt to pin this Westlake offense deep, and Max, they've got a long ways to go, and they just don't have a whole lot of time to do it.
That's right, and now we get to see them face a full field like Midview has had to a few times, and it'll really test the not only the receivers for Westlake and getting open, but also if that offensive line is capable of holding up for longer developing routes and plays, and probably see 5-step drops here from Brucheri.
And that could be really dangerous, those 5-step drops, because we've seen Midview apply a lot more pressure off the edge here. And if you're going to take 5-step drops, you know those defensive ends are going to pin their ears back. It's Antonio Colon, the tailback here off the left side of Brucheri. Claps his hands together, takes a low snap. Throws left side. Colon makes the catch out in the flat, takes it past the 10, and dropped at the 15-yard line. Tackled by Max Kuchera, with Scott helping him out of the play. And again, it's not much, but this is an offense that's looking to try and get back into rhythm again. Brucheri looking to his right this time. Pass is caught by Kelly at the 20. Angles his way toward the far sideline. Initially stepped out of a tackle before working his way out of bounds. He went out near the 30. Zach Wallace was there to escort him out of bounds.
That's been one surprising part this evening, is we haven't got to see the receivers make a lot of plays after the catch. It's been a lot of sticks and sitting down in coverage.
Early movement on the left side of that Midview defensive line that'll cost the Middies 5 yards. The clock is the enemy of Westlake now. Down 3 scores, 31-14, and they've been able to get small chunks of yardage working their way down the field. Brucheri. Play action fake, looking deep down the field, airs this one out. He's looking for Dominic Napoli. The pass is knocked away and almost intercepted. Passarello nearly came away with an interception as that pass was thrown a little short of Dominic Napoli at the 22-yard line.
Well, I certainly see what Brucheri was looking at there, as Napoli did have a step on his defenders, but as you mentioned, Passarello there just playing center field and doing a great job of covering a lot of ground in a short amount of time.
Well, we mentioned they've got to take a shot down the field. They took one there, but unfortunately for the really helping to totally change this game. I mean, Brasheari's really kind of been running for his life most of the half. Four receivers at his disposal. Drops back, facing pressure again, steps away from it. He'll try and step up and run, but he collides with two Midview defenders at the 37. Nowhere for him to go. And that looked like the outside linebacker, Tommy Commit, who brought him down at the 36.
And those second and third level defenders for Midview have been doing a great job closing out in space and not allowing Boucheri to turn those short runs into longer ones like he was accustomed to last season. I know he broke several long runs for the Demons and just hasn't been able to find that crease tonight.
4th down and 3 for Westlake as they keep this offense on the field. Back to pass, Boucheri throws right side incomplete. A bit too much air under that pass, looking for Chase Kelly, and they'll turn it over on downs. Max, I'm a little surprised that they didn't go back to their tight end, Chris Campbell, at all on that drive. He kind of was the security blanket for Boucheri for a while there, and in shorter yardage situations where you're trying to pick up an extra set of downs, it didn't even look like that was an option for Boucheri.
That's right. He would be the ideal target in that situation, and instead he found himself throwing to someone. He was down the left hash and threw it to the numbers on the opposite side of the field. So that's a tough throw for anybody, and especially with the pressure he's been dealing with. And right there just goes over the head of his receiver.
Well, that may very well have been the final dagger in this one as the Midview defense holds up again, as they have all second half. And look, truthfully, they've only allowed 6 points in this game because one of the touchdowns scored in this game was a fumble return for a touchdown by that Westlake defense.
Very true.
Martin coming into the game as the quarterback. He'll take the snap and give to Passarello, and he stood up right around the 36-yard line. No gain on that play. Cody Martin, a 6'4", 205-pound senior quarterback. One of the guys in that quarterback competition, along with Shea Williams, who won it, and sophomore Brennan Newton, who was in the mix as well.
Yeah, now Martin on the opening night of his senior campaign, getting a chance to go out there and be the signal caller as well as it was down to the battle. I know deep into July, early August, they were still trying to work out who was going to be taking the snaps for them.
Marcus McMahon works off the right hip of Martin. Man in motion right as the tight end Logan Lane. Snap will go to Martin, takes it right side past the 35, and he's tackled by Campbell near the 31. Inside of 4 minutes to go now at 3:40. We invite you to join us when this one wraps up for the post-game show, brought to you by I-90 Nissan at Sheffield Village, because the deals are so good. Some awards to give out: collision of the game, drive of the game, and much, much more. And don't forget, when it's all over tonight, Dave Grenczynski and company back in studio control. We'll catch you up on all the scores. We'll talk to some of the game-winning coaches tonight, some of the players as well, and even some of us calling the game. Direct snap to Martin, takes it left side, bounces off of one defender. He's able to get to the 25-yard line before he is knocked out of bounds on that far sideline. Took a while for them to shove him out of bounds on the far side, and for now, it looks like he's got a first down.
Certainly showing his ability at running the ball there with a lot of power on display, especially in that 6'4", over 200-pound frame. Did a great job fighting through several Demon defenders.
Want to shout out Jones Bones Barbecue and Grub, the official barbecue of Lorain County Friday Night Lights. Smoking good barbecue. That's Jones Bones Barbecue and Grub. There was a flag on the play. This will march Midview back to their 40-yard line. Well, and at this point of the game, you're just hoping you get through it healthy, right, going into week 2. We've seen some of the kids cramp a little bit. Outside of that, it seems like things have been pretty clean from that perspective. Martin takes the snap, rolls out right. The lefty slings one down to Dior Jones, who makes the catch, and he's tackled at the 26-yard line. He got awfully close to a first down. I don't know if he got there or not. Based on the initial spot, he might be a little short, but he's really close to the stick.
We have seen him get a few carries on the night. Great to see him haul in one of his first catches on the season as well.
And they're going to bring out Ethan Morris again. This will be another 45-yard attempt. This will come from the right hash. Inside of 2 minutes to play. And there seems to be some confusion on the Midview side, so they will call for a timeout. We'll take this timeout as well. With $1:48 to play in the fourth quarter, Midview leads Westlake 31-14 on the Lorain County Sports Network. We're expecting to see another 45-yard field goal attempt from Ethan Morris. Midview was not aligned the way they would have liked, so they called for a timeout to reset things, and they will indeed try another one of these. 1 for 2 field goal attempts tonight for Morris. He made one from 42 yards out earlier. Snap goes back, the hold is down, the kick is on the way. Plenty of distance, and this one is good. A 45-yard field goal for Ethan Morris. His second field goal of 40 or more yards tonight. Wait, Max, what a leg on that young man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a secret they kept from us as well. They wanted to make sure he wasn't a known commodity, but after tonight, he's going to be known around the county. What a leg right there.
34-14. Midview clearly in control of this one with 1:42 to go. And, you know, coming up here on the I-90 Nissan of Sheffield Village postgame show, we've got some decisions to make with our Ernie's Auto Body collision of the game. You referenced this earlier. We've got the Valley Chevrolet drive of the game as well, and we've got a player of the game to give out as well, thanks to the Sabo Apparel Company. I mean, the big play of the game from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lorain County. So this has been a good collective team effort for Midview. I mean, defensively, I don't know that one guy in particular has stood out. And there have been so many that have contributed for the Middies, and shutting down a quarterback like Sam Brasheary, the way they have in the second half, seemed like a monster task, but they found a way to do it.
That's right, and I mean, great night for them. Just makes our job a little bit tougher trying to decide who gets these honors in the postgame.
Morris will kick this away. This will bounce along the numbers right side, picked up by Charbel Riley. He'll take it past the 10. He's up to the 15, tried to change directions, and he got popped.
That certainly isn't the first time Braden Hamoki has made his presence felt, and I know him and a couple other of those Midview linebackers are certainly going to be up for our hit of the game, our collision of the game, excuse me.
We'll have some time to sort through all that. That's why we pay Edwin Vereen the big bucks. He can play the brakes for us and buy us some time so we can make those very important decisions. Looks like we've got a new quarterback in the game. And that makes all the sense in the world. I don't think you really want to risk an injury for your senior signal caller. It'll be a direct snap, and that ball's taken up to about the 9-yard line. That looked like number 8. Number 8, I beg your pardon, number 6, Mo Abdelhadi, a sophomore quarterback. 8 is Tamer Abedrabo, who's much, much larger than the sophomore quarterback. Those single-digit nose tackles, they're becoming a thing now. It's weird.
That's right, and it certainly helps them stand out, though. I can, in fact, say that is when they do make a play, kind of jarring to see at first.
Abdul Hadi claps his hands together, takes the snap. He'll run it again. Takes it right side. He gets popped. Went down right around the 14-yard line. He got stuck by Gage Weaver.
Yeah, that was a great hit by the reserve junior linebacker there as he spells Tommy Kmitt.
And you're getting a chance here for Midview to get some guys into the game that hadn't seen much action over the first 3 quarters. Wes Urich, tailback in the backfield along with Abdul Hadi. 10 seconds to play in this one. This should be the final play of the contest. They'll give it to Wes Urich. Urich takes it up the middle. He's able to get up to the 21-yard line, and that will bring this one to a close. (34-14), the final count in this one. The Midview Middies, an opening night victory over the Westlake Demons, as they're able to get revenge from last year's 42-28 loss. And what a ball game it was here tonight. A 14-14 contest halfway through it, but it was all Middies in the second half. We'll break it all down for you in just a few moments on the I-90 Nissan and the Sheffield Village post-game show. That's coming your way here in just a few moments. Again, 34-14, Midview a winner over Westlake on the Lorain County Sports Network. (34-14), the Midview Middies defeat the Westlake Demons in the opening week of the high school football season here on the Lorain County Sports Network. We welcome you into the I-90 Nissan of Sheffield Village postgame show. I-90 Nissan of Sheffield Village, because the deals are so good. Andy Bullbarch, Max Drummond with you. Edwin Vereen, our director. Sam Sovacool working the camera. This was a 14-14 ball game at the half, but the Middies took control in the second half, and they never looked back. They outscored Westlake 17-0 in the third quarter, and Max, that's essentially where this whole game shifted.
Certainly did, and the biggest part of that was definitely the way they were able to attack on the ground.
Yeah, they ran the ball extraordinarily well, and they didn't have to put the ball in the air a whole lot. When they did, they were pretty efficient in doing so. And look, we could talk about the offense and just how well they ran the ball, but that defense was incredible in the third and fourth quarter, and they really kind of smothered Sam Brucheri and company.
They did. They left him looking for a lot of answers. I'm sure they're going to be doing that tomorrow on film. And also, it was a collective effort. A lot of different guys stepping up at different points, whether deep in the secondary or up in that front seven.
Well, let's take a look at some of our stats tonight, brought to you by Alan Januzzi CPA, because it's all about the numbers, and Max Drummond has some of those numbers.
Well, and jumping into some of the specifics of that rushing game, I mean, you had Michael Passarello, 37 rush yards and a touchdown on the ground. Cam West, 61 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Then you also had Marcus McCann, 10 for 73 and a touchdown. They, as an offense, had 261 yards on the ground to Westlake's just 48, so definitely the advantage there. And then looking at the passing, we talked a lot about Brucheri and his ability to hit his receivers in that intermediate passing game, and it totaled up to 14 to 25 for 121 yards. And his leading receiver, of course, tight end, as it was Chris Campbell on a lot of those short routes, 7 catches, 59 yards, but just was not enough to match what Midview was doing on their offense. And like you talked about, the dink and dunk, it just was not able to result in sustainable success for them.
No doubt about that. Well, we mentioned we have some decisions to make, lots of awards to give out, so let's take a look at our big play of the game, brought to you by Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lorain County. Be a big, get a big. Well, we couldn't narrow it down to just one. There were so many big plays in this game, but we'll give you some foreshadowing here also. This kind of ties in with our drive of the game, but on a monster drive for Midview that began inside their own 10-yard line at their own 9, they needed just a handful of plays to go 91 yards down the field. While it was Mike Passarello who punched it in from 3 yards out, there was a monster rush from McMahon. You talked about his numbers just a little bit earlier, but Marcus McMahon, 5'7", 165-pound junior tailback, was a key component in that running game. He had a huge rush of about 30 yards that set them up inside the red zone on that particular play.
Certainly made their job easier, and it really kind of broke the game open after they were kind of stuck in a drought, so to speak, on offense before that drive.
And there was also another big play. We mentioned we couldn't narrow it down to just one, but shortly after, the Midview Middies took a 21-14 lead. They forced the Westlake offense to go 3 and out, and the final play of that drive, Dior Jones, who had been applying pressure off the edge all night long, came through with an enormous sack, which forced Westlake to punt the ball away, and they did a lot of punting in that second half, but it seemed like that particular play, Max, that kind of set the tone.
Yeah, and even for a receiver on the offensive side of the ball, has violent hands up there on the defensive line, and paired with that speed, makes him a matchup nightmare for offensive tackles.
Again, those are our big plays of the game, brought to you by Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lorain County. Be a big, get a big. Well, we talked about the big play of the game. Let's take a look at the drive of the game. And the drive of the game, again, there were two very, very obvious ones. We got to narrow it down to one, though. But when it comes to the drive of the game, I think we'll always reference that 91-yard drive. Midview went down the field in 5 plays. Didn't have to put the ball in the air once. And that also came at a time where they were down 14-7. Sam Brucheri had just punched it in from 6 yards out to make it a 14-7 Westlake lead. But Midview was able to answer right back when they were pinned deep inside their own territory.
Certainly made all the difference there in that second half. And like we talked about, that halftime, they made their necessary adjustments, and they came through in a major way.
Drive of the game brought to you by Valley Chevrolet. Keep on driving with Valley Chevrolet in Wellington. Well, the collision of the game is a tough one, too, because this is a very physical contest, so we saw so many collisions in this game. It's the Ernie's Auto Body collision of the game, the top auto body shop in Avon. We go all the way back to the opening drive of this game, where Westlake had marched right down the field, and on the 14th play of said drive, it was the senior linebacker, Wyatt Lehman, who really put a licking on the tight end. Chris Campbell jarred the ball loose. Max Kuchera recovered that fumble. We talk about tone setters. Early in the game, it looked like Westlake was destined to score on that drive. A monster pop from the linebacker, jarred the ball loose, and that gave the ball back to the Midview Middies. Now, a play later, there was a scoop and a score for Westlake, but still, you just got the feeling that in a game where Midview really wanted to set the tone with some physicality, they definitely did it on that play.
And it for sure gave them the confidence needed moving forward, as they were able to make them bleed, if you will, by stealing that possession right out from under them, and it ended up paying off later in the second half when guys all over that defense ended up flying to the ball.
Yeah, they had lots of hats on the ball carrier, no question about that. Make sure you follow the WOBL and WDLW Media Group all throughout the season to keep close tabs on Nick Abraham Elyria Ford Golden Helmet Watch. Shop ElyriaFord.com for more information. That's Nick Abraham Elyria Ford. Well, the Friday night recap is something we're going to save for the guys back in the studio. Dave Gradzinski and company waiting by patiently as all these games wrap up. The Network Land Title Agency Friday Night Recap brought to you by Network Land Title Agency, safeguarding your investment and ensuring peace of mind. What a game here tonight. 34-14. Midview defeats the Westlake Demons, and next week we will head on north up to Avon Lake, where the Shoremen will play host to Benedictine. Should be an entertaining non-conference contest, and hopefully it's every bit as entertaining as this one was here tonight. Look, last year, Midview doubled their win total, coming away with 4. But in the opener, they lost to Westlake. And you get the feeling that this is a pretty special group they have. They've got a lot of seniors. That SWC schedule, it's a meat grinder, no doubt about that. But this is a team you'd like to think can certainly hold their own.
Right, and they experienced some of those tough losses last year in this conference, but all it did was make them stronger and make them hungrier to realize we can be a part of that, and we can fight with some of the best in this conference, and they certainly put that on display tonight.
Yeah, no question about that. Again, we invite you to join Dave Gradzinski and company as they wrap things up on the post-game show. They'll talk to some of the game-winning coaches and players, and they'll get you all the scores you need to let you know what went down with all of the Lorain County High School football teams tonight. That'll do it. One final time, your final score here tonight, Midview 34, Westlake 14. Max, great to work with you as always. Look forward to doing it again next week.
You as well. So glad football's back.
Yeah, it feels like it took forever to get here, but week 1 is officially in the books. Some people to thank before we sign off here tonight. First and foremost, a big thanks to all of you for tuning in to tonight's matchup on the Lorain County Sports Network. We certainly appreciate all of you making us a part of your Friday evening festivities. We'd like to say thanks to Dan May and company and the athletic department up here in the press box for hosting us here tonight. And a huge thanks goes out to our entire broadcast team. My tag team partner, Max Drummond, El Capitan, Edwin Vereen, the captain of our ship, directing us and getting us on and keeping us on to make sure you could catch every last bit of this matchup, and Sam Sovacle working the cameras all night long as well. Great job, team. We look forward to getting the 4 horsemen together again next week up at Avon Lake. One final time, your final score, Midview 34, Westlake 14. For Max Drummond, Edwin Vereen, and Sam Sovacle, this is Andy Bolbarch saying thanks again for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend.